Well. Man, it's Thursday, man. Crash out Thursday, man. I'm chilling, man. I ain't got much to do today. Slow day. Really been resting all day. I'm kind of amped up. Woke up. Discourse popping. Folks is arguing. Folks is crashing out. Good conversation. Good back and forth, man. So I figure why not just hit the button. So just crash out Thursday. Listen to some let's see if we can find some freestyles or something to listen to. Some rap battle before we get into this till we get into this bang out edition of Crash Out Thursday, man. And see what I got. See what I got. Set it up. Folks trying to get in there. Boom.
Believe you would run with a lie like the Muslim culture. You better move with caution. Ever got shot in the mouth? Picture Doc wires going in his jaw. It hurts on a different level, like upsizing your rental car. Hitting
It's a stub, you're mad whack. Then you said Yashua when you meant Yeshua. There's so much trash packed in this man's raps where you could have changed one letter and made them sick, like anthrax, and that's...
I roll with heavy hitters. Soon as they see the shotgun, my team up blitz. My seat on the block is solidified. I got seasoned ticks, and I work construction. Nigga, everywhere I go, I get the streets a fix. I'm a real bad flipper.
You will fucking die, cause everybody wanna be heard till it falls on deaf ears. PTSD from the streets can fuck up your usual. I can't even watch Men in Black. I seen it too much at funerals. It get brutal.
I was a young boy going through a Cody phase, cause I watched my uncle spend 3 years with that belt like Roman. You gotta know the game, and I'm a chip off the old block, the whole shebang. Come on! A fall get raised, Thule get bursting. I'm really that nigga. This just a pick of the litter, like community service. I'ma set it on. Marvin, so you better lay low. But it don't matter, cause we gon' find him no matter where you go. Then slide through spraying shit, jet set radio. And it ain't gonna be no hope that doctors can keep you stable. The people's just gonna read about dogs sleeping with the fishes. Shit sound like an Aesop fable, bitch, nigga. That was crazy. We treat ops like blind niggas. To get them where they need to go, we use a stick. They like cool. Watch how you talk to that nigga in his city. That nigga rock really lit. I say I don't give a fuck. So is the Statue of Liberty, and it's still a bitch. I got clocks for niggas. I don't give a fuck. Die like Pythagoras. Let's do some math and shit. Cause for the past few years, I've been here. Ain't shit scared. That's plain to see, like the Bermuda Triangle. And I'll pull a chopper out of thin air. This bitch wins. What's wrong with him? What's his voice? Nigga! Go, gang! Nigga! Taking this was an awful choice. Now I'm on your block in the hoodie, Russian chop with the legs on it, and it's a fully. Boy, I get the cutting up on the stand like YSL Woody. Nigga! Go, gang! Nigga! Let's go, gang!
Man, I hate this shit. Who just tries to force a gimmick? Syndicate on my resume? Just more statistics. 30 in a clip. Try me and this whore can get it. Fuck around and I'ma empty this bitch like an abortion clinic or a gun butt. Fuck around.
It's better.
I dropped more bombs than George W. All you have is guns and fat. That's 2 different kinds of pounds, like Run the Jewels. I'll shove your
last battle and started talking about all the niggas you done banged on. Young dumb motherfucker. Evidently you got the game wrong. Cause the neighbors ain't supposed to know your name, pussy. That's Trey Song. Nigga, we ain't cut. Nigga. Let me.
Bow for bow. In my prime, lean was expensive. Trap house like Wendy's. We doing foe for foes. Never told a foe. But I did make a bitch suck dick for a line. If you know, you know. Clarissa Shields. I really had bitches going blow for blow. Yeah, bag. Yeah. Bag.
That shit is crazy. I'm fucking amazing.
Yeah, what's good, man? I'm on mute talking and shit. Yeah, I saw everybody. I'm so tired today. I'm just really getting motivated, man. I see everybody turn up all these conversations. I'm like, shit, let me go ahead and hit the button for a change. Afro Ninja, how you doing? Let me hit the button and set everything up, man. I try to get on some regularity with this damn with this doing shows. I'm gonna drop the link and in the Discord if folks want to hit it, get in here and chop it up. I get everybody a reason, everybody the black hole that need to jump into the conversation, man. Zoom links and 3 Discords, man. Crash out Thursday. That's something to do. Crash out Thursday, man. Zoom links, 3 Discords. Let's go. What up, Cedric? What up, Ramon? Yeah, man. Look, man. Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, atheism, agnostic. I mean, whatever's on your mind, man. Whatever's on your mind, let's get it cracking. I see. We talked earlier about RFK being selected as the being one of Trump appointees. One of our concerns is that when you get somebody's anti-science in office, you have to worry about things like that. Now, I'm not saying go out there and panic, but we gotta keep our eyes looking at the goal with him being selected. What him being selected or possibly selected. He hasn't been selected just yet, but I did see Tiffany post something in the Discord about selecting him. So let's kind of look at that. So yeah, yes, yes, yeah, Charles Murray too. Cause I saw them visit that argument. They slipped the other day. Yeah, he did. You worry. You worry about folks reading level and stuff like that. We're trying to help. You know what I mean? I saw that. So yeah. Charles Murray too. Definitely Charles Murray. Huh? Definitely Charles Murray. Oh shit. Let me try to get this Zoom up. Man, my Zoom believing this weird little gray, little type of gray box on the screen. I downloaded a card. That should stop it. We should be good to go. Yeah. So yeah, this is the source right here. I just typed in so it says President Donald-elect Donald Trump on Thursday has oh shit. I thought it was still has selected Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an environmental activist. The hell want to call? He's called an environmental activist who spreads misinformation on vaccines to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. God damn. The United States top health agency. Ah, Lord, man. So let me read that one more time. President-elect Donald Trump announced on Thursday he has selected Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an environmental activist who has spread misinformation on vaccines, to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, the United States top health agency. So Kennedy ran for president in this year's election as independent before dropping out in August and endorsing Trump in exchange for a role in the Republicans' administration. And I assure you, just knowing his background and what he been talking about, like that's always been his goal anyway. Bro. He been trying to get at them. He been trying to get at them vaccines. Now, if he'll be able to do something with the vaccine, there's one thing. We're not in a crisis right now with vaccines, the thing, but some of the policies he put in place could be harmful. And I assure you, him being there is going to be a hindrance. I think would have to know that him being is going to be the hindrance to scientific progress. You can't be. It's hard enough being a scientist in the room for the pseudos, but it's even harder being a scientist when the pseudos is over you. You feel me? So it's definitely going to be problematic. So, Department of Health and Human Services oversees the Food and Drug Administration, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Institutes of Health and Master Medicare and Medicaid Services Program, which provide health coverage for the poor, those age 65 and older, and the disabled. Medicaid intensive maintenance enrollees mean HHS had a 3.09 trillion budget for the fiscal year, representing 22.8% of the U.S. federal budget. So, yeah, so he's definitely going to be a hindrance to the progress. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm gonna get back to it, make sure I got everybody in the room real quick. What's going on, huh?
Sup? I'm gonna give you 40 minutes, nigga. I'm going to hit the button, yo. I'm just looking at that Joe Budden, Umar Johnson interview.
Are you trying to go live?
Yeah, I'm gonna go live. Change your thing.
Oh no, you just said so. We'll take them here. I'm just about you. I'll do an hour solid, then we jump over.
Yeah, we split it up. Yeah. Did you see that interview though?
What interview?
Umar Johnson was on Joe Budden's show.
No, I seen that. I thought it was old. When I look at it, see, it wasn't that old. And then I was like, it said something like, "Bring your sources." Dr. Umar Johnson. I said, "What the fuck?" I click on though. What are you talking about?
I was thinking, I was like, yo, they at the right age to catch him. Not older than them, right? Yeah, I mean, some of them close to him. How old is Joe? Umar about what, 50, 47, close to 50, right? I think he about. So I'm saying they young enough to get him though. You know, they old enough to know that the conscious community is a bunch of foolery. You feel me? Like they mind progressed past that. They know, you know, that it's a certain part of it that's a bunch of nonsense. At least you got a couple people on that show that kind of, you know, recognize the conscious community or something. But you know, it's, you know, Umar's skill set, his packaging, the way he do what he do, you know what I'm saying, is high level, right? And so basically, the dude Antoine Marby, right? He was really the one kind of pushing it a little bit, but he ain't pushing like he could have went all the way. He was holding back. So I seen another interview and he talked about why he ain't really want to get him and all. Like, so you're never gonna get Umar Johnson, yo, if you don't just get him. You feel me? And so, he was not in the Joe Budden interview, but the other interview he was on was called the y'all probably know the podcast, man. Hold on, let me tell you what that podcast is. It was
What was
the
he? Hold on. What was he? What was Umar? What point was he bring? I don't
everything
understand
was
it.
on the table, nigga. The school, everything. It was
Oh
all on the
yeah.
table. It was the dating
Okay.
white people, all of it.
Because
Yeah, it was,
we
what I'm
got
saying? Like,
AI. Like, why don't they get the damn man? He get on there, bro. Crank that mug, crank that chat GPT up, man. You get
oh
what?
no, yo,
It's
they
so
ain't
easy
cranking.
now.
Because
You
it
don't even
ain't,
gotta
if
go
they ain't,
to
they not us though. We certified pseudo killers. You feel me? Like we
yeah.
certified at what we do, bro. That's different. They not, they ain't that. They ain't that. They ain't that. that ain't what they do. They don't do that. You can't expect them to do that. But the other dude, Antoine, he was on him.
That's the light
But
skinned dude. That's the light skinned dude.
yeah,
Or no,
he
that's
was
the,
on him. But he
yeah.
understood politics. Yeah. The other guy that was sitting, I don't know who the other guy was, the light skinned guy, he was just done. He was Umar Johnson, so he was done.
Oh, that's about the high
King
yellow dude.
Flips.
The high yellow
Yeah, the
one.
high yellow dude, he was, yeah, you could just take his money. He done. Yeah, he was
Oh
officially
shit.
get out the game. Joe, they was going over Joe here, but Joe understand language and understand how you double talking. You know what I'm saying? Joe
Yeah.
Streets, you know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
sister, she was like, she was like trying to fight back. Like they knew something was wrong. Queen Flip was like, come on, man, you bullshitting. I know like on a certain point, but he couldn't go all the way, right? And so the other podcast I listened to, Antoine was on that, right?
Yeah.
Y'all gonna know which one I'm talking about. It would be hold on, that is the bag fuel. Y'all know what that is, right? Another one of the podcasts I've been listening to, yo.
Nah, who the hell is on that? I
I don't
never
know
heard
the
it. Said
niggas,
bag
man.
bag fuel.
Yeah, type it in. Bag, BAG, capital BAG. This one word, capital FUEL, bag fuel. I believe that's their podcast. Yeah, bag fuel. I don't think nobody. Yep, you don't look at that. I looks at all that type shit.
Oh,
Dang.
like had somebody named Lou Simmons Jr. on there today.
And they just basically was trying to make a point that, you don't want to just try to make an aha moment to get views and clicks for money and all that. And so that's like the for me, Umar Johnson bank on that. Because if you get them, it's like them right there. Them two.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
checked them out. I'll give them a check.
If you get them, they was basically saying, yeah, if you get them for money, he was like, Antoine, like, I ain't want to get them. I could have locked the door. You ain't answered the question. The way we do shit, we just like, I let them live. That's the
Yeah. Now, so
problem, yo.
How Joe did it? They let him rock out.
Yeah, Joe let him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't understand that though, because this is a way to do it. He talked about Roland Martin, how Roland Martin was on his head. Remember Roland Martin was on his head?
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
hostile escape on your ass. So that's part of the complication with the pseudo. So they don't want the show to end, and the pseudo will make a hostile escape if it get too hot. You know what
You
I'm
think so?
saying? So,
Um,
yeah.
Which Roland got him, but he tried to act like Roland ain't getting, Roland's show is over with because too many big black people like him. He used the lie suit, the lie pseudo shit. We just make up shit. Why, you know what I mean? He
Yeah.
definitely a high level, yo. It's a high
Yeah.
level pseudo with that shit, yo. But I think my overreaching point is, this is why scammers are allowed to last in our community, yo. Because you just got to get them, yo. Like you can't be like, you know, yeah, Sosa. Like when you're in a server, you're a different nigga than when you really gonna fight a nigga live, yo. You're a little different. In the server, you let niggas live too much. Yeah, yo, you be too, and then since some things you be like too politically correct. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna paint myself in a corner, right? And then walk on the goddamn paint to make sure what I'm saying is heard and make sure what I'm saying ain't no confusion in it. I ain't siding with you because of this, and this. I don't care if you never come on the show. It don't matter to me because that's not why I'm actually in it. I'm actually in it, you know what I mean, to fix the damn madness around us so that we can be clear, right? And our messaging and what it is we just want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I want everybody to be able to tell their kids some clear shit. You feel me? I don't want my kid to grow up and think that because you have some good rhetoric and some good speeches and some good ideas, right? That you're trying to help black people. In one vein, you're saying that just an example that vaccines, right? You can't trust me that good for black people, right? And then on the other hand, you talk about white people is responsible for black on black crime. Well, that's the number one killer of black on black crime, and it's the system to do it. When in actuality, yo, it's health issues to take us out more than that. You know what I'm saying? And just to misuse that. So I don't want my kids to grow up like that. I want them
Our
to grow up.
biggest enemy is our biggest enemy is salt. Salt. Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that on my joint. I'm gonna go into it. I'm gonna definitely go into it. And that's what I'm saying, yo. I don't want my kids to grow up thinking that the war is against white people, right? When the war is look, so you know we've been having this conversation about God, right? Let me give you something. And there's always a war in heaven against good and evil, right? The struggle, right?
Yeah, it is. Preach.
It's okay. And then there's a war going on between white people and black people, right?
Amen.
What I've come to realize is based off my experiences of being wilding with bums and dining with kings, being a homeless man, right? And going from that, being in the top rate hotels. Well, let me say it the other way around. Being in top rate hotels and being a homeless man, and then come back to being in top rate hotels. There's a lot you learn in between there. There's a whole wealth of experience you get from that. There's a whole it's another framework you get out of that. You know what I'm saying? You get because the same motherfuckers you see on the way down is the same motherfuckers you see on the way up, and the same motherfuckers you see, you know what I'm saying, on the way up, you see on the way goddamn down, yo. You know what I'm saying? And it's real, yo. And you learn a lot from that experience. You learn how to treat people. You learn how not to treat people. You learn who to mess with, who not to mess with. When you see that certain behavior, you get the hell away from them. You just see it. And it's an interesting thing. So is I want my children, bro, to be able to walk through this world with some type of understanding and know that the war is you the damn war. So you be God and you will be the devil, and the war is raging inside yourself. And it's up to you as a human who only got about a lick of time, only about a second, right? To balance that shit out, to walk this walk, yo. That hopefully maybe you will be an influence on the person that will influence their kids. You know what I'm saying? To balance this goddamn thing out. That's the real war, is that struggle within yourself, yo. See, I understand that. Since I understand that man and humans, man being indicative of man and woman, right? You know, we create these ideas around God. We don't create nature. Nature predates us. The phenomenon predates us, whether it be oxygen, whether it be atoms, protons, and neutrons. You know what I'm saying? It predates us. It predates Homo sapiens sapien. It predates our transition from fish to humans. So that war would have to be the war that we all fight within outside ourselves. Yo, and you know what it is, so when you was laying on that goddamn ground, nigga, shot up. You know that, you know what it is, nigga. You know what God is you know what the devil is, bro. You understand it's that struggle inside yourself, yo. See, most people don't get those experiences. But anyway, I say all that to say that I do what I do so that these babies, yo, these teenagers, these young adults, man, can kind of help them fight that struggle with inside themselves, yo.
And these lost Negroes shooting at me most of my damn life. But hey, it was good, bro.
Hey, you know, for somebody that's an atheist, you sure do be preaching, my G.
Hey,
I was ready to pass the
collection
plate. I just like a damn pastor. No, I mean, all good talk. It's just when I was listening. If you close your eyes, it's Sunday morning, G. It's definitely Sunday morning when if you close your eyes. What you
You
saying
gotta have
makes
that
sense.
gear. You gotta have that right gear.
I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
No,
That was
I'm just
that was
pulling up the
blog talk
support,
on
bro.
that too.
I be wanting
Oh,
you to
for
go
sure.
live more, so I'm just pulling up the support.
Oh
Just
yeah,
pulling up
yeah,
the
yeah,
support.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, that's what I'm like. I'm try to put some consistency on it, you feel me? So I done made my little thumbnail and shit. I'm in the chat GPT. I got my little. I'm like, this shit all right. That's that.
Yeah,
I got to
Yeah,
get his to
slick.
help me play around with the little animation thing to get this shit right, so I can make little skits. You feel me?
he just did the little tutorial or whatever he did in the server. Did you go?
No, but when he set it up, I talked to him about it. When he set it up, he said, I told him I couldn't make it. You know,
Oh,
because
okay.
we left talking about it, but he didn't really give a time frame. And one day he was like, "Yo, I'm free in an hour." I was
Yeah, he'll
like,
do that. His schedule is a little wonky sometimes.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what you talking about?
Not anything.
Man, we're crashing out, man. Anything.
Yeah,
I
crash
ain't
out
seen
is a term. I ain't trying to crash.
crash out Thursday.
I've done that a few times, bro. I try to. I
I
mean, I
mean,
don't
you
mind.
just
I let
crash
the
out.
other
What I
person
mean,
crash
crash
out, and
out,
then I
not necessarily
participate.
on each other, right? But just crash out
Hmm.
on whatever's on your mind. You feel like yo, I heard today this blah blah blah. You just crash in on that talk, whatever you know what I'm saying.
I want to
Okay.
Whatever.
crash with this. Hey, Brass. You know why you was having difficulty talking to the Magi toothpick, yo? You know why, yo?
Oh, the dude from yesterday.
Yeah, you know why,
Yeah.
right?
Why?
And
Why
it's
is
what
that?
I'm saying. It's the mentality, yo. It's the literacy behind the messaging, yo. Like it took me and you 3 minutes conversation to get everything we were saying. That was it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't leave that conversation saying, you just a Trump supporter. You hate black people. I didn't leave that conversation with that. I left the conversation saying there's some values, right? There's some financing, okay, that I and my family need to take advantage of, and this gives us the best chance to do it. See, that's why I left the conversation with. I didn't leave with,
Mhm.
oh, you just you wasn't that wasn't that
I
wasn't why
wasn't
you did
here.
what you did. None of
Mm-mm.
that shit really mattered. What mattered was there was a certain thing you could take advantage of, right? And as a valuable human being that has a family that ain't nobody gonna take care of but you got to do that. That doesn't mean you're not gonna reach to the other side and show empathy, right? To people that got less than you, because there's a value in that. That's definitely a value. If you up, you're supposed to always look down, you know what I'm saying, and show some empathy and grace to other people. That's just what it is. That's part of being human. You feel me?
Yeah.
That that's
Every
what humans do. So I ain't,
every
but he left that conversation thinking you's a racist, you hate
yeah.
this person, you hate blah, you got yeah, yo, because it's fundamentally speaking, yo, they can't get that Black Egypt conversation, bro. And I'm saying that's the fundamental understanding of humanity is right there in that valley, because that's when different formations of humans all merge together, yo. And if you can piece that together and all the philosophical thought that went there and all the ideas and just the people and how they manage, yo, then you can understand any motherfucking thing, yo. I promise. If you fuck it up, though, you be running crazy. I
Mhm.
rest my case.
Every
What's up,
Wednesday.
y'all?
What's up,
Yeah,
Logic?
what's good, Joe?
Every Wednesday, I
Joe?
think that's Logic. Every Wednesday, I work with a youth a young a young inner city male group called Build in Hudson County. And then every Sunday, I work with the inner city group called Girls Inc. every Sunday. Now, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm not saying that to boast. But the one thing I notice when we have these political conversations, right? I could tell who went to school, who studied, who didn't, this, that, and the other, because they immediately say you voted for this person. So you say you voted for Kamala or you voted for Trump. When in actuality, you're voting. If you're not voting your interests and you're just voting the person, that's where you go wrong in the first place. People worship in politics is the same as people worship in the conscious community, anything like that. You don't really want to worship a person. Now, in order to support a party, you may have to sometimes support a person that you don't necessarily like, or their particular characteristics don't match you. But the party may still match you. I say that to say this. I was having a conversation earlier in the server with Chef. We was talking about the NAACP, and we was talking about political. How do Black people as a whole get more political power? Now, Chef is one of the people that will say, Black is a social construct, and when they start talking about race and this, that, and the other. But it's like everybody doesn't want to be Black until we all supposed to vote together. Or we're supposed to have there's this mythical party and these mythical candidates that are completely supporting Black people, only doing things for Black people, this, that, and the other, and it just doesn't exist. Now, in a perfect world, I would hope that would be unified. That would be great. I'm an African American man. I was born in the United States, so I identify with Black people. I find myself around Black people, but I don't only localize myself to just Black people. Because I don't think that that's the best way to try to get something done in the United States. To just say me and 7 other Black guys, we're just going to do this, and it's going to be all Black. And when we sell books, we're only selling them to Black people, and this and that. That's just you kind of stuck in a way. If you want to make it centric and open up a business, that's cool. You open a soul food restaurant, serve everybody. But let me close on this. I don't mind having conversations with people about politics, but the reality is, because I follow the numbers, is that most people don't vote. Especially most of the people that I'm talking to in these panels and different shows, if I choose to come on to it, they're not voting. So their opinion is literally just that, an opinion. And a person can have his opinion. That's why I don't get too riled up. But I knew he wasn't really trying to hear me because he had already pegged me as broke. He had already told me I was broke. I mean, he kept telling me all these things, and we had just met. I'm not in the 1%. He didn't know what the 1% was. These tax things don't affect you. Like he just didn't understand. So that's water off the back. But I agree with you in that state. Most times they're just looking to have conflict, and that's good discourse. I realized immediately when you was talking about scientific literacy,
mm-hmm.
and you was talking about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., how that is very problematic. I understand the same way you are on your side is the same way I am on my side, but we both Black men. There's ways that we can connect and come together too. So it's not a I don't know. I don't like to get into arguments about politics.
We're going. We got Joel. What's good, baby? Got Joel
Peace,
Logic in the
brothers.
building.
Peace, man. What's up, Sosa? What's up, What's up, Brash? What's up, Logic?
What's up,
happening,
man?
Man, I'm ready to crash all the way out in Bergen. I'm ready to crash.
What's on your mind, man? What's on your mind?
Man, listen to this here. So Gina had posted the joint in the Discord about Trump paying reparations to whites. So I pushed back. I said, nah, that ain't what it say. Blah. I finally found the transcript. And this fool literally said that.
Who said that? Trump said that?
Trump, man. Trump said he fitting to take the money from the schools that teach DEI and the people that's been affected by it, he gonna pay them restitution for it.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, he did say that. And there's a little. I get the white reparations connection.
Explain it.
I don't think he said white reparations though, but basically what they're saying
you
that
gonna
this
pay
is.
me restitution for harm. What do you want to? You can call it reparations. You can call it a lawsuit. You can call it whatever you want.
You can call me Ray, and you can call me Jay.
For injustices done to them, you're still giving them money. Justice is done to them. We can't get politicians to do that for us. That's what I want to know. Somebody explain that to me.
It's an easy answer.
Give me
Trump a social media influencer, yo. You ain't know that, yo? That's the danger in Trump. He's a social media influencer. He's taking advantage of that.
I think the issue is like basically this is the more serious issue of it, or however you want to see it, is that this has really nothing to do with us in terms of we won't benefit from this at all. This is something specifically for other groups, pretty much.
For his base.
Yeah, we're not going to. Yeah, this like when they talk about DEI, because basically what they're saying is basically you're violating the civil rights of other races when you hire minorities, quote unquote, Black people in those positions, and that's a civil rights violation. And I'm making it so that they can sue you if you do so. That's the more layman explanation of
You
How the
understand that?
other
You understand that?
politicians can't talk
Hold on.
like
Do y'all
this?
understand
That's
that?
what I want to know.
Does that make
Explain
sense
it.
to anybody on the panel?
What's that?
or
Just
somebody
let
else
me.
can speak. You want to add to it? Logic, Chef? Rhymes?
Does that
Good,
make
man.
sense?
I was getting the call and I kind of missed exactly what his comment was. I heard how he started off, but
I'll swing back and say I'm gonna rephrase it about the what Trump said about the DEI and lawsuits from the
yeah, I heard
college.
that part. I heard that part. He's and
Yeah,
we're
Ron,
hung up on why we can't get politicians to do that for us.
No, I wasn't
uh,
saying that. I'm saying, does it make sense?
no, just
Democratic
the ramifications
Democrats.
of it, because basically saying that is basically saying that all you schools that continue to do these DEI hires and you're putting African Americans in position, uh, right, instead of somebody of European descent. You know what I'm saying, so quote unquote. I mean, of course, there are going to be a couple others, but that's basically the thing. That's basically now though those white students can file a civil lawsuit against the college and shit like that. So
Right.
that's more the implications of it. So that's
I
not
get that.
a
Yeah,
benefit to us.
no,
That's
I don't get it. I don't get that because I mean, does it also apply? I'm sorry, hey guys, how's everybody doing? I apologize for just jumping in
Yes.
like
Damn,
this.
I
And
need to get my cutoff game up.
yeah, sorry.
hey Ron, let Logic get in
Go
there.
ahead.
Let Ron.
Yeah,
Now
go ahead, Logic.
let them go ahead and talk because I mean I'm actually on a whole nother page. I think that's like the low hanging fruit part of the conversation. I think there's some bigger implications going on, but go ahead and say
We
what
can
you're
come back.
saying.
We can get to that too. We can get to that too. But we
Yeah,
just want
Yeah, but it's
to.
gonna change the whole tone of the conversation. So just
All right, then we'll
let them
swing
say
back.
what
I
he's
asked
saying.
the question, does it make sense? Is there any logic in
yeah.
that? Does it make any sense though?
And I'm saying
Is Umar Johnson talk
You
to
know
you?
what? It does in a strange way.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're missing something here.
No,
I
it's
think it
Umar
does in a
Johnson
strange
talk.
way. Now, because so his argument would be that it's discrimination against white people, right? And then you look at the 14th Amendment that says that you're not supposed to have any laws that are discriminatory, so on and so forth. So he can you can use the interpretation of the law to make an argument, right? I mean, it don't sound good to us, but you know, I think in interpretation wise, it's possible to make an argument out of that. Sure.
but
I thought
why
you
does that
couldn't make
argument?
things based
Why is
on
that argument
race.
now?
Let
Heard somebody say
let
it.
let Ron chime in on give his opinion on it. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I was just saying that it doesn't make sense to now say that it's okay for whites to have reparations based on discrimination when blacks and other minorities and women as well have been discriminated against almost from the I'll say from the founding of this country, but let's forget about the slavery part. Let's say when we first were able to enter the general society as free people, and I'll even put that in parentheses. But nobody was pushing, and I dare say Trump would not even push for reparations for those people. I mean, why is he now saying it's white people who were quote unquote qualified when there have been many qualified minorities again
He's
and
smart.
females
He look out for the people they
not
voted.
nary a word. I mean, that wasn't even part of his campaign
They got him in the
pledge.
office.
Did y'all
He's
just
got
hear
There
me
you
out those
go.
say nothing I
seats.
said just
He
now?
looks out for the people that got him in office.
No, wait.
That's why I
What
say it's
I
not. That's
said,
why I
did
say
that
it
make
doesn't make
no
sense.
sense at all right there? Like, it made no sense
Come
at
on,
all
man.
to nobody?
Go ahead, Logic. Break it down.
Go
I,
ahead.
I just explained, you
Mhm.
know, it's
No,
not
that
about
makes
how
sense,
I
Larry.
think stuff ought to be. If you're making
Mhm.
a legal case, it's going to be the precedent would be the 14th Amendment, which you, even if you took it all the way up to the Supreme Court, he would have a case based on the 14th Amendment saying that
He
no
wouldn't.
laws can be specific towards a
He wouldn't have
racial.
no case.
Then he
Yeah,
would
he
lose that
would. He
case.
would have
I'm,
a case.
I'm,
He would have a
I'm
Mm-mm.
case.
Y'all leaving out an important part there, yo.
okay. What
That
am we doing?
yeah, the conversation go all the way back to Charles Darwin. Now, say no, it don't. I'm saying it does. That all humans are actually created equally. That there is no structure that should be in place that would say that this group is more intelligent than the other group, and that's
You would not
exactly
apply this to
yeah.
Trump.
Listen to what I'm saying. Let
This
me make my
man
point.
crazy.
So either you saying I'm crazy, or let me finish and prove me to be crazy. But let me fucking finish. The point I'm making here is that they made billions of dollars off of that racism right there. So the people that made billions of dollars off that racism right there, you can't create a law that allows you, you know what I'm saying, to sue me for what you did. It's inhumane. It's uncivil. The very statement itself is inhumane and uncivil because you put us in this position to the tune of 12 million people, African slaves. It was the global economy. So you can't come back and write, well, we're going to sue you. Nobody would uphold that. That's like, that's ridiculous. It's
what are you
double
talking
talk.
about?
Yeah.
Have you lost your mind?
I'm lost.
Hey, did y'all
Yeah,
know
you went
that right?
off, bro.
Oh, wait a
She
minute.
said he
Right
went off.
after slavery, when the Africans were set free, they paid white slave owners restitution for losing their slave.
Absolutely, they did.
And you
Yeah.
talking about, you're not talking about, you talking 2024?
No,
I'm
you
saying,
try to paint the picture like it can't be done. It was already
No,
done.
I'm saying because no one's allowing that, bro. No one's letting that. You didn't have no power to stop that back then. Now you
Okay,
do.
all right.
Nobody's
No,
letting
you
that
don't.
go
No,
off
you
like
don't,
that.
because he's
Hold on,
having the
hold on, hold on.
Supreme Court with his peoples.
Man,
He is
Give
nobody. Come
me,
having
on,
the
bro.
Supreme
Come
Court
on,
with
bro.
his
hold up,
peoples.
y'all. Give me one more
That's
opportunity to
an
explain
You
inhumane
this.
saying
law,
I'm wrong.
bro.
hold on, hold on.
Inhumane,
Let's bring
yo.
it back. Go ahead,
It's
Lottie.
inhumane.
Let Lottie finish
All right,
up.
let me
Finish up.
stop
Here,
crashing
let
out.
me get one more opportunity to explain this to y'all. The
Go ahead.
same way, right? What's your boy named Clarence Thomas, crazy ass, was
Yeah.
able to make an argument on why the affirmative
Affirmative
action
action.
was non-constitutional. He can make a legal case to say
Of course.
DEI is unconstitutional. Are you understand that it's possible for him to actually make
Yeah,
a
you can
case
make a
based
legal case.
around
Yeah, you
the
can make a
14?
legal
Yeah,
case.
I was like because
Of
we
course.
talking about how
Now,
things ought
whether
to
it
be
is,
and how we feel about it. I'm talking about like no, there actually is. He could make that case, and they just did it with affirmative action. It'd be
Yeah,
no different.
yeah, but
yeah,
I think the question was whether did it make sense or not.
Right. That don't make sense. That's the point. It's
And that's the
Well, I mean,
inhumane.
does it
question.
make sense to get rid of affirmative action? But they did it.
Well, I mean, I think there could be an argument for. I mean, I'm trying to be balanced here, right? I think there can be an argument for erasure of affirmative action. The question is, when does that time come? Is it now? Because certainly wasn't in the the 40s, 50s, 60s,
it's fiction,
70s.
right? Right, right.
The question is when is it right to abolish affirmative action? Not a question of whether it should be or not, at least in my mind. So, I mean,
I
we can make
don't.
that argument,
I
but
I
think
don't feel like we're talking about if it's right or not. If it's possible or legal is kind of what I'm saying. I don't want to
no, I
pretend
mean
like this how the world is, and it seems like
Anything's
it's this
impossible.
way.
no. What I'm
Anything
saying
is
is
possible,
law.
yo, but
What I'm
nobody's
saying
standing for
is
that.
law, Brad. So you can. So does he have legal? Does he want to challenge, or is he able to challenge it legally? Of course. So
Yes, yes,
He
how
has
now
legal
how it
yes,
make
challenge.
it through the different
Yes.
course is one thing, but of course you can
exactly.
make an argument. But I think my point was is just to highlight the what's happening in what's actually being said, to highlight that what's being talked about. Like that is something, regardless to if it's law or not, that is specifically done for groups other than African Americans. You get it? What's up,
Right.
Shaq? Go ahead. Get it in,
So,
Shaq. Go ahead.
so, so,
Hold
what's
on, get it,
going
Shaq.
on with y'all?
What's
What's up
good,
with
bro?
y'all? So, look,
What up, Chef? Be
I
more in the building, son.
be more in the building. So, I think our biggest issue with it is the hypocrisy of it. Not
Right.
that it is tenable legally. I think we're looking at it more as being the hypocrisy of y'all,
Of
right?
course.
And so I think that's the main issue that we're really having the problem with. But go ahead, y'all.
That's
Right.
my
So
point.
that's what I'm
Is
saying.
is
That's
is
what I'm saying.
inhumane.
That is something that's set us. That is something specifically done for a group, and that group, and that has nothing to do with you. That pretty much hurts African American. I think we should all at least understand that much, whether you agree or not. That's not something that's going to aid us in any way. Can we
Facts.
at least
And
Right.
I
Okay.
agree
think
on that?
everybody
So
keep in mind we got a flaming
Can we at
Cheeto in
least
the
agree
booth.
on that? Can we agree on
And
that?
he has the
I think
yes,
that's
yes,
easy
I
to
agree.
agree on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
yeah,
think
yeah.
so
so
let's
my
go
point
ahead
is
and
What you're
why
saying.
then.
But we're not going
So
to be the
what are
ones
we
filing
using
a
to defend
civilized lawsuit.
ourselves?
Yeah, we're not going to be
help
filing a
you with
So
that.
what
civilized
we
lawsuit.
so we saying is a bunch of bullshit. It's inhumane.
Oh
It's
yeah, we
nonsense,
all
correct?
know it's bullshit. So
Yeah,
how
it's
do we
stupid.
defend
I wouldn't use
ourselves
it.
against the
Okay,
bullshit, yo?
so the fact that I explained how it was bullshit based off of just natural shit, that how y'all ain't get that. That's
No
why it's
pseudos
bullshit.
listening to
Well,
that. We
that's
know
not
you're
what
right,
make it
Unc. We
bullshit,
telling you
yo.
no
I wouldn't use
Yeah,
the
pseudos
that's what
word.
make
listening
it
to that.
bullshit. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
because
that's what make
it's
it bullshit, but
unscientific.
that
It's
doesn't give us
unscientific.
any
You feel me?
defense against the bullshit. That's what I should have said.
Oh,
No,
okay, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I'd have
I
went with you
think,
better for
People
that.
aren't.
I'd be like, all right,
No,
no,
but
okay.
like
what
I
you're
was
saying,
pointing
what you're
out,
saying
I'm
makes
putting,
sense, Unc,
like
but
I was,
nobody
like I
is
think,
thinking
like
about it.
what was
You
said,
say
like for
what?
me, the hypocrisy is the bullshit. That's why I point out, like that's something that's not for us. So when black people say, well, what are you going to do specifically with black people? They be like, they're not going to do nothing specifically for you. But then
Yeah,
here we
because they
have a
can't codify it.
situation of something being done specifically for a group of people that ain't you. Like you're not going to be filing these lawsuits. This is not beneficial to you at all. You're not going to reap the benefits of that. That is something for mostly people of European descent.
So Sosa, I think
Yeah.
another thing, Trump kind of, I mean not Trump, Trump said it when everybody was crashing out. I think you titled this completely wrong. This girl about to get crazy here. But
No,
the Trump is a social media genius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if there was a class on how to go viral, he'd be, Darwin on that. So
yeah.
so
Facts.
literally he will say something to get the whole world talking about this, and this. And I for the life of me, he never said the word reparations. But everybody, when they started talking about it, said white reparations. So that's the catch line. That's to get everybody talking. Now, is it right? No. I mean,
No,
these are
no, he
common
didn't say
distance.
that.
He didn't
But
use the
that's not
word
credit.
white
That's not credit to
reparations.
his genius, though. That's credit to
Yeah.
somebody else.
this
That's why
is
I
this
wanted.
is no,
Yeah.
but I mean, when you say it's not credit to his genius, don't think that, they don't have somebody behind the scenes that says tagline white reparations or it's a hashtag or something. So, but my point is, no, it's not right. But in the same vein or in the same token, what he's talking about is or well, where your anger, it might be a little misplaced. Only in just 2 seconds. Things like that can happen because somebody else has said this and you kind of glossed over it. Things like that can happen for a specific. They do things specifically for racial groups all the time. So when you say your complaint, your anger is not just in the hypocrisy of the initiative. Your anger is in the fact that why not us? And the why not us is evident. Political action committees. More focus on the solidarity in the race, the ADA and things like that. Other races get things done by participating in the game. But when you don't want to participate in the game and you want to vote for a candidate while Trump didn't say white reparations, this is no bigging up of him. I distinctly heard Kamala say, I'm not doing anything specifically for Black people.
No,
Distinctly.
that's
Typically,
because she's
No,
not
no,
the
hold on before you
no.
go in. But
Okay.
All right.
distinctly. So what I'm saying is, what my point is not to big up one or the others, to say that neither one of them are concerned about doing anything specifically in that vein for Black people. And it's not just to get it out the mud. We have to get into this political aspect. And if our best Black candidate is Cornel West, we're in trouble.
I hear you, but
Get off track.
but typically, I think when we talk about let's say
Dr. Cornel West, I don't disrespect.
specific acts for
Hey, Mr.
different
Step,
groups
yo.
in this country, typically we're talking about minorities, not the majority, because the assumption is that the majority already has the advantages.
Exactly. They don't need help.
They don't need help.
I would agree.
So
Right.
that's why this is
How many white
absurd
people
on
you
its
got?
face.
Y'all
That's why
missing
it's
the
so.
element.
How many white people you got in
Y'all missing the
America?
element.
How many white people y'all got in America?
About 340 million.
200
Yeah, I
and
mean,
some odd
white people,
million.
what,
About
200
70% of the
million? 200 million?
70% of the population?
300 million?
Somewhere there,
No,
probably
not
more
that
than
many.
that. More than that.
200.
200 million?
Yeah.
And only 1% of them is rich though.
Okay, that's
Like
where
to
I was
make
getting ready to
No,
go.
no,
like
Go
to
but,
make
ahead.
their
but,
note.
Go ahead
but
where you
they
going.
above,
Like to make their note.
not just
Oh,
rich, but they
We
live
can look
like
that up real quick.
we know the
yeah,
wealth
look that
It's
gap.
up.
We know
200. It's
that.
Look it
220
up.
million.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Here's
saying.
the
It's
point.
not
220
300
million.
million
Hold
black
on,
people.
hold on. You know, I don't like the fact that they put the cart before the horse. So I'm gonna let you know something. I don't actually mind them making that decision, like y'all said, to the Supreme Court. You know, they abolished race-based affirmative action. I don't actually mind that happen. I also don't mind them taking out or fighting against the DEI. I have a problem with that. But they missed a step. The step you would have to pay us reparations and equal the playing field, which would make the thing humane. You
Thank you.
cannot work me, right, for damn near 200 years, built a global economy off our backs, right? And don't pay restitution for that. It was criminal. It was it was kidnapping, because kidnapping is criminal. Kidnapping is criminal amongst the Hebrews in the Bible, amongst the Christians in the New Testament, amongst the Romans, amongst the Greeks. The fucking kidnapping shit is illegal. The slavery shit was legal. All the way up until the French and them decided not to make it. But in human society, slavery been fucking legal. But kidnapping been illegal. And for them kidnapping us, you got to pay the money. We got to
Yeah,
pay the money. That's why I went nuts like I can't even think of his
Thank
fucking
you.
name, because he separated the whole goddamn thing. And we had a good movement going about reparations. And this nigga jump in with the pseudo shit and split it all the way up and split it in half. And you know what I'm saying? Whatever the hell. Right. But I wouldn't mind him taking all that back, yo, if you go ahead and equal the shit out. The reason you got them things in play because of the global economy was based off of free labor, which officially kept us behind and the Jim Crow and all the other shit we had to fight for, yo, it held us all the way back. That's why. So you can't just take them things out of place that are trying to levy and even the playing field. It's like we have forgotten what the hell's going on around this motherfucker.
I think
You
the
talking about
point is
Dan
though,
Calloway?
the point is no, Tariq
No, I'm
Nasheed.
talking about
The
what's his
point
name? The
is, the point
FI,
is,
you know,
FBA.
Cornell and them, not
Yeah.
Cornell, but
Tariq
what?
Nasheed. I
Yeah,
said
yeah,
the
yeah,
point is
yeah,
though that if we're here, then reparations is way here.
yeah, because it don't make sense.
If the president elect right
Yeah,
now
yeah, yeah.
is his concern is leveling the playing field for the dominant society, so because he don't want to make sure he don't get taken
Yeah, then
advantage
you're
of.
done.
That's
It's
straight that
over.
we're that conversation way back in the review.
So
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it took
it's
sacrifice.
over.
Y'all know it would take sacrifice, right? So brass, you would have to sacrifice your percentages that you actually voted for. It would take everybody that thought like you and voted like you would have to sacrifice that. And I don't think we're ready to sacrifice, because everybody will have to sacrifice something. You know, the victory goes to those who are willing to sacrifice the most, yo. And that goes for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You know, some of us sacrifice our time for these shows to get real information out. Some people just fucking wasting time with the shit. But everybody would have to sacrifice to be able to get what we think we want to get. And we're just not ready to sacrifice yet. Yo, you're gonna have to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get rid of the
What do you mean?
A
charlatans.
good portion. I would say, everybody ain't gonna. We're not a monolith, right? So of course everybody can do different things. I just feel like those that do got to be consistent and do shit together, because like I don't vote like I vote for a group. I vote for the group. You know what I mean, I'm not.
What'd you vote? What'd you
I
voted?
don't vote as an individual, but I'm not knocking somebody that does vote as an individual.
Would you use a
Because
Democrat, right?
I don't know, sometimes the individual circumstances at the moment. I can't expect everybody's individual circumstances to be put aside for the group, because they may not be able to sustain it. They may
Yeah.
say, like, you know what, because I know if it comes down to it,
Mhm.
I'm gonna put my family first if I got to. If I have to, that's first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? If I can take the L, take the hit, then I take the hit for the group. So I'm not going to knock somebody who does it on an individual level versus who does it for the group. But I think that it's important to highlight the value or the importance of doing it for a group. You
It
know what
just
I'm saying?
means
Futuristic
sacrifice,
for your
yo.
babies, You know what I'm saying?
It's just sacrifice, yo. We seen it in real time. Yeah, so you said you voted along party. What you say? What did you say the other
I
day?
vote for the group. I vote for a group. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you was a
I vote
Democrat or Republican or neither?
a Democrat.
So you
Mostly
vote for
because I'm generally liberal in viewpoint. Most of my moral standings in line with democratic policies, and even scientific standings in line with democratic policies. I'm not with a party that's pushing against climate change and things of that nature. Pro-choice. So all of my values are opposite of Republican thought. At
So
this
we
at
can
this
agree though, we need to have some type of sacrifice, whether it be something. Like you to get something, you got to give something. Yo. You gotta be willing. What are we willing to give up, yo? That's the point.
Of course.
I guess I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I mean I thought the point
Pseudoism
was that
should be first, though, Ron.
I understand, but I think what I'm saying,
if you can't give up
you got
pseudoism, you can't even see clear to know what you're
okay.
supposed to give up.
Okay. But let's start
Hey, Logic, where you at, Logic? If you can't give up pseudoism,
yeah. Well, okay. But in
am
terms
I
of this
wrong, Sosa?
conversation,
Am I wrong, Sosa? You might give up the
yeah.
wrong shit.
I ain't understand. You ain't finished what you were saying. I
Yeah,
understand.
I'm sorry, I can't I think the point is that
Don't worry about it, Ron. You don't
we've
know what
already
to
given
give
up
up, yo.
something.
Don't worry about it.
We've already given up something, right? We've
Wow, what
already,
you gonna give up, Ron?
I mean, think about it. You
What?
mentioned it already. I mean, when we were kidnapped and brought to this country, put in shackles for hundreds of years, and then de facto slavery through Jim Crow, and then all the years of discrimination, we've given up a lot. It appears to me. So when you say you have to give up something, what do you mean give up something now? What is that? What does that mean aside from pseudoism? What do you
Yeah,
what are you
that's gotta
talking?
be first, yo.
We
gotta give up
and
that.
religion, right? And religion.
Nah, no. I said
Okay,
pseudoisms.
okay.
That's the number one killer of black people is pseudoisms. It's the number
But
one killer
nobody,
of the
no,
mind, yo.
nobody's gonna understand what you mean when you
But
say
don't
that.
worry
Give up
about it.
pseudoism.
Shit. Everybody on the panel, the hell I'm talking about. If you run around with bad information, so we run around with bad information, yo, and we claim. Watch this. Our claim is we're trying to learn this information because it will help our people grow and prosper. That's the claim,
Right,
and this is
right.
why we learn this information because it's going to tie us back to this and tie us back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Bet I like the idea, but when the whole shit is pseudo, you don't actually tie us back to real shit. You tie us back to some mythological shit that you made up as an African American. So you actually keep us in a perpetual circle of foolery because we're not clear and understanding what the hell it is we supposed to be doing with that. That's what I'm saying. So the pseudoisms are like Umar Johnson can go on Joe Budden podcast and pseudo your ass to death. He wouldn't have been able to got around us. But he pseudorized it and he used a platform to gain more motherfucking sway, more prestige. Donald Trump. This nigga ran a pseudo campaign because he was better at handling the internet, but the shit he was saying was just crazy.
Get Marcus in the building. Marcus, what's going on, man? I see you pulled up. Show your mind, bro.
What's going on, everybody? How everybody doing?
Everybody good. I'm good. I can't speak for everybody.
What's going on, Marcus?
What you
Chill, what it do, chill?
What you trying to crash out about on this good Thursday, man? Show your mind.
Yeah, so we gotta look at some things from bird's eye view. Somewhat. The whole assumption of DEI that has been perpetrated is in there, and so there's a idea about what DEI is that is just inaccurate, and we hear them make these comments and statements continuously that is in error. There's a centralized scheme that has been permeating throughout America since the late 60s, early 70s. And that idea is that it is the African Americans' responsibility to address racism. And that racism has been sufficiently diminished that it is no longer a factor in our everyday lives. and perpetrated as if certain things are simply biological biases, and that we did all of that. So we have court cases that came through that now say that racism was never a state-sponsored work. You know, it was more so a faction of just human existence and biases. And the Four Horsemen of atheism have promoted this as well. This is where we have a great disagreement with them. That position puts us in a bad place. So the idea that DEI is about just hiring black people in certain positions was a misnomer from the get-go, because it was not based on that. It was based on the fact that qualified minorities were not being hired because there was a preferential treatment for white males. And it's ridiculous to assume that that preferential treatment has come to an end. And we heard things like we elected Barack Obama and all these type things that say that we're no longer a nation that is based upon race. Now, of course, scientifically, race is a social construct that's a consensus now. But that does not now mean that I think it was the Thomas effect is not in effect. And that is to say that just because something is scientific don't mean that people behave that way. So there's no scientific evidence for biological race, but that doesn't mean that the social structures are no longer racist. And so that is the ultimate argument that's being placed. That's the ultimate argument that's being placed. And for a while now, the courts have argued that racism is a past tense thing. We were this way. And just because the racism isn't shown in that same way it was 50, 60, 70 years ago, the results of racism is still around. And so that's the argument. So the whole idea, the assumptions in DEI is foolish, because when that boat hit that bridge in Baltimore, that well-educated man who was the mayor of Baltimore became a DEI hire. Not that he was qualified, not that the people were intelligent and voted him in office. None of that became part of the conversation. The conversation was he was a DEI hire. Same thing with Kamala Harris when she ran. Same thing with the sister from Texas who's a lawyer who beats up the other side quite a bit in Congress. And so these are some of the things that we got to be ultimately aware of. That's all I wanted to say. I don't want to say no more about that. I'm actually the grocery store.
I would agree. I would agree 100%.
For sure. Thanks for coming.
It was hard to make out everything that you said, but my big issue is that the Republicans are waging war on all the DEI stuff, but their terminology is that they just want to get all those laws out of there, but they're not looking to. It doesn't sound like they're looking to replace those laws with anything else. Is kind of what my thing is, right? So on one hand, you got the president who's willing to claim that he wants to reimburse or provide some restoration to one people group who's been affected by DEIs, but take it completely away from another group who potentially actually needs DEIs. You kind of get what I'm saying? So that's what my little 2 cents is on the DEI part. But did
anybody replace it with anything, because America's not a racist country. We've heard a bunch of people say that America's no longer a racist country.
And I think too, when I listen to part of that, and then moving away from some of the DI stuff, and here's just some of the things, when I was watching, I forgot what, it might have been a World Series, something I was watching, but when you kept seeing the Kamala Harris, Trump is for he, Kamala's for he, they, Trump is for you, right? You kept saying, they said they ran that ad. I forgot how many times they ran it out, but I swear I've probably seen it at least over 100 times. I'm saying, and one of the talking points that was strong to hammer down, hunker down on, is like gender affirming care to like children and puberty blockers. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. We hear Trump's conversation about that. I think that also hurt the Democratic position, because some of my issues right? 'Cause even though I'm liberal, we still got some people that are just I think that are far too liberal, like lean too far to the left, and the fact that we weren't in a position where we can actually have these conversations, whether we're right or wrong, even to kind of figure it out, is what led to also to that divide. You know what I'm saying? Because people have a lot of issues with children or even parents being able to give their children, whether it's puberty blockers or the whole, this non-binary, right? So either right or wrong, I think that also helped propel him in that position because even Democrats have issues with that per se. Like they haven't quite figured out where we are with that, and we can't really talk about it because if you talk about it, then you're homophobe or transphobe. You feel me? So you feel me? I think we've seen that with some of the Dave Chappelle conversation when you try to have fun about it, even joke about it, even try to even have around it like, yo, you can't. That's a no-no. So I think that hit home with a lot of people.
I don't.
So let me ask you a question. So everybody on this panel, y'all do know DEI is not like a black thing, right? Like I'm listening
it's
to
not just
y'all
for blacks.
talk.
Yeah,
I'm listening to y'all talk, and I'm trying to figure out if y'all think that the main beneficiary of DEI isn't black people. It's not even completely for black people. It's for older people, minorities, Asians, Islanders, LGBTQ. It's not. This isn't
Non-white men.
Yeah,
Anybody
women.
This is
who's
not.
not a
This
white
is
man.
not a. This is anybody that's not a white
Yeah.
man. So it's not. It's not like this. It's not like when he. That's why I say they use the word reparations to get us upset. But in actuality, it's about 15 different groups. Now, the last thing I'm gonna say is
That's
the
why I
biggest.
pushed that out. I left the reparation out to switch it to what we were kind of to get it on what
Okay.
we asked.
Okay. And then the other part is the main beneficiary of DEI isn't even black people. It's white women. So it's not so I'm trying to figure out. I know everybody's upset, but I'm hoping you're just not getting triggered by something that's going viral in a social network and you actually read the law. We're not even the
It
biggest.
affects
We
us
might
enough,
not
though,
even be.
Brad, that we need to be upset.
Hold on, Joe. But we might not even be the biggest beneficiaries of something that we about to crash out on a Thursday for. We weren't the biggest beneficiaries of DEI.
Whoa, but that's not the point, though, Brad. Whether we the biggest beneficiaries, that's not the problem, because we can be that, right? Because obviously we're not understanding it to the point where we can benefit off of it. There's probably need to be some education behind that. That's why I say you can't be pseudo.
No, I would agree with that. I'm
That's
just
all I
saying
was
it's
saying.
almost like I agree, but it just seems like they're taking something away from us. Like it's not
But
black.
they are, though, Brad.
No, listen.
I said it is something a specific set aside. I said the hypocrisy. We talked about the hypocrisy just of that. I'm saying what they're trying to do.
I think the hypocrisy is that they call it DEI to benefit minorities, and it ends up just benefiting white women mainly.
It's a reason.
Yeah, they're also considered
and like
minorities.
Marcus pointed out too, it's a tag that's thrown on African Americans who get there.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris,
and that's where it becomes problematic.
She's a DEI hire. You see what I'm saying? You didn't earn that position. You only got that position because you're black. That's a stigma now that's being attached to minorities.
They don't throw it on white women, do they? You don't hear that.
Well, they do.
Well, she's not a black woman.
Oh, they say
so,
that?
Yeah, they say white women are DEI hires, depending on positions they're in.
They do that all the time with white women. That
Go ahead, name one. Go ahead. What's the lady's name? Go ahead, I'm listening. What's her name?
What you mean?
It could be any. It could be any. No,
come on, man. What's her name?
What you mean?
Stop.
What are you talking about?
Okay, name a black lady DUI. Hold on, name a black lady DUI DEI hire. Can you name one?
He just said Kamala Harris would have been.
Okay, so then when I asked for the white lady name, we don't got it.
Name a white woman in prominence
Come on, man. Okay, well, name
position.
Name
but why do you keep
of
saying that she's a DEI hire? Why do
I didn't say that. Y'all said Kamala was.
No, somebody said that.
I said that. I said that's what they said. That's what they call her.
That's what they say about her.
That's what they say about her.
Okay.
My overreaching point is that they don't say that when it's them getting it. That's
They don't
my
say when it's
point. They
white
don't
when it's
make
white
that
men.
point. They don't make that point. That's not a point made because you can't, if you just fucking don't, if you stupid and don't understand the material, you're not going to get hired regardless. You gotta be able to maintain college. And if you can go to college and get the damn degree, then you obviously was fit for that. That's the craziest thing. Wait a minute, did I do the job proficiently? Yes, I did. So it's ridiculous. That's why we can't name a white person, because they don't
What?
make a big deal out of it.
Well, that's the whole point. Now we're saying that Matt Gaetz
Yeah, I don't know.
and RFK Jr. Those are DEI. Those are technically DEI hires.
What?
They would be considered DEI hires.
What?
If they were black, they would be considered DEI hires.
If
I'm
they
saying,
were black?
That ain't what I'm
saying,
saying, man. All right, you got me fucked up, man.
no,
I
not
don't
necessarily.
know where we at right now.
Yeah, me neither. You got me, yo. You got me, Ron. You doing it. You doing that thing, Ron.
Look, the
Because
DI.
Jets
So
white
it
as
was
the day is
Hey,
long.
DI.
horrible analogy.
That was my
We're not-
Brad,
we're
did you
not
understand what my
qualified.
point was? That
No,
they
I
don't
understood
make a
your
big
point. That's what I'm
emphasis
saying. I
about it.
get it. I
What?
get what you
Jumped
saying.
out
So
that car quick.
nobody, no. Okay, so
Man, Ron,
Let
you gotta
Ron be
stop
clear
that,
this
Ron.
point.
no, I'm serious,
Ron, I was
Brad.
on your side, Ron.
I'm on
Let
your
him
side, but I'm
make
just
his
saying that they're
point. Let
white.
him make his point.
They're
Listen
white
to what he's
women who are
saying.
DEI
I
hires.
understand
No,
what
you beat me up, Ron. I'm on your side. You're not comprehending. My statement was clear. I was saying that I was piggybacking off of what you and Sosa had said and how they used the shit as if it was some derogatory thing. They make a point out of it, and I say, well, yeah, they don't make a point out of it when it comes to the white women. I say, what's the person's name? Though I could actually name it. So I actually verified your point. Then you turn around and beat me up.
No, I'm not trying to beat you up. I'm just saying that they're white women. DEI includes
Okay,
white
I'm
women.
done. All right, I quit.
Does
Mm.
anybody
I'm tapping out.
disagree with it?
That is true. We just
Hey,
read
so
it.
Man, the way I just said it allows you to know that I clearly understand that. What I'm saying is they don't make the same deal out of it like they do when it comes to African Americans. That's my point, bro. Damn.
All right, well, listen.
I just don't think that's. I don't think that's
Let's get
that
this.
true.
What?
So look, we'll go to who benefits from
Sosa, am I tripping?
DEI.
Sosa, let me know. Sosa, because I tripped out. Did I
let me
crash
jump
out
in
on
there
that?
after you, Sosa. Let me jump in there after
You
you.
might crash out. I want to get to the list. I want to get back to
You said I
DEI
did.
and who benefits from DEI. You might have crashed
I
out.
don't know if you're tripping, but you got tripped
For
up.
no reason.
I got tripped
Crashed
up.
out. You might have crashed out for no reason. Y'all on the same seat, y'all crashing out.
Let me
Look,
just
who
say something when
benefits
you're
from
done,
DEI? Individuals. Look, who benefits from DEI? So individuals from underrepresented or marginalized groups, right? So people who historically face discrimination or bias, right? So so that's going to be African Americans, minority, and it's also going to be
That's
white women,
everybody
and
but
it's
white
going to
men.
be LGBT, pretty much, pretty
That's my
much.
point.
Such as racial and ethnic minorities, women, LGBTQ individuals, and people with disabilities, and those from those from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, all right, tend to benefit directly from DEI initiatives. Those efforts help level the playing field, reduce systematic inequalities, and increase access to opportunity. Then we got the other groups, organizations, society at large, all individuals, so forth, so on. So, and then, but the conversation too was like, so, but if a black person makes it up the ladder in a room full of whites, then his position will be demeaned by saying he's a DEI hire, right? You didn't earn that position. The only reason you're there is because they had to put a black person there and they chose you.
Do they do
Like
that to the white women, Sosa?
Yeah, I mean, they did. Like I'm saying,
Do
so
they do
Ron is
that? Do they
correct in saying
demean
that they
them? Do
do
they
that. They
demean them for
do.
that?
Well, no,
Yeah,
because do in certain. That's what he's saying. In certain areas, like it may not be as public as Kamala, but
Okay.
they
All
do
right.
that a lot. Like
Okay.
yeah. Of
All
course,
right.
they call white women DEI hires. If
Mm.
you listen to
And I
if you
said, name
listen,
the name of the person.
They may not be as
okay,
popular as
Yeah,
man,
I've
Kamala,
you
never
can.
but
heard somebody call a white woman a
Man,
DEI
come
hire.
on,
What?
man.
I
So you got
never.
to be kidding
I'm
me.
just saying,
Oh,
like, I
no.
know they benefit from it but
Yeah,
I've
man.
never heard it
Yeah, but we
socially in
know,
media ever
whether
someone say that a
whether
white
you
woman was a
heard it or
DEI
not,
hire. Even though she
We're not
was,
speaking
I
in
just never
absolutes,
heard the
bro.
let's
statement.
just
I
say
never
it's
heard that
not a
statement.
big enough stigma in the white community as it is, but
But that was the
they do use
point,
the
though.
terminology.
Yeah.
That was the
But
point.
we don't gotta crash out because they do use it.
No, this is Crash Out
You
Thursday.
named the show, so
Yeah, crash
I'm
out on the
crashing
topic.
out on that, Sosa. I'm not gonna let you easy off. We're crashing out.
If you guys
So-
look at like a lot of these news shows, especially on MSNBC, it's full of
I don't
females,
watch
white
it.
females, and they'll say and if you go to
What's the name of the
Fox,
show?
they will call those women DEI hires.
I know what's
I
the
mean,
name of the
that's
show
a-
so
but-
we can watch. What's the clip?
Yeah, where I've
Oh,
heard
Veta
the only time
Graham,
I've ever heard
touching
women,
whoever freaking. I don't
Yeah,
watch.
they'll
the
call
only
them
time
all.
I've
They will
heard
call
women being referred to as DEI hires.
I ain't the
Just
first
I
time I
don't
heard
watch
it
a
was
lot of
today.
news. No, I've heard women being referred to as DEI hires, but and Unc, you probably heard it before. You just probably didn't see it that way. But when you watch like basketball games, I know they called the lady, like you're starting to see them hire a lot of female assistant coaches and stuff like that. I've heard that being
and
referred as
referees
DI
on the
hires. I
court.
know, like on sports shows, for example, if you watch sports shows now and you look at the panel, there's it's like there's a woman, there's a this, it's like them old whatever, but they'll call them DEI hires. Like that's why
the refs in football.
Yeah, like the referees, the stuff like that. But
Basketball.
I don't know about in regular terms of like the head of a corporation that they ever called a DEI hire. I've never heard of that.
But who's calling anybody a DEI other than people who are in
White
prominent
males.
political positions?
Yeah,
they're the ones saying all this stuff, and certainly it filters down into the regular society. If a white guy's in the football stadium, he sees a white female with a yellow flag in her pocket, running them down the field, chasing football players and throwing the flags and stuff. They say, why is she out there? She's DEI. Why is she out there? She doesn't need to be out there.
Right. You see more women referees in professional
basketball. In places where you didn't really see it before.
Yeah.
Right. And they're saying, well, why is this?
Yeah. So, but my thing is, I just don't think a lot of people knew that it was targeted to, not targeted, but I didn't know. I don't think a lot of people knew that it was basically the main beneficiaries were white women, and then there's also LGBTQ. So, like when you want to say about race, take race out of it. If you found out that you and somebody else was up for a job, and based on DEI initiatives, the other person you're a black man marginalized, but the other person got the job because the company has to meet an LGBTQ quota, you're going to be just as upset. So it's no defense. I'm not defending it. I'm just creating a scenario where, you might not feel the same way because you just think it's about race. It's older people. Forget LGBTQ. What if you don't get the job because they got to hire a certain amount of senior citizens? I mean, it's a lot to it. It's not a black thing. DEI is a black thing, but it's not specifically for us.
Yeah,
That's
but the same thing.
So hold on, Ron. Let me read this, Ron. Let me bring this source up. Let me read this real quick.
I agree.
I agree. But we dealing with, we black folks, so we dealing with us.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that one.
Let me read this. It say the term DEI hire is often used as a pejoratively to suggest that an individual was hired primarily to fulfill diversity, equality, and inclusion objectives rather than based on merit. This label can be applied to any underrepresented group, including white women, implying that their hiring was motivated by diversity goals rather than qualifications. In the context of white women, the application of DEI hire label is less common as they are not typically considered underrepresented in any industry. So that's the point I was trying to make, that's not a norm. Didn't say it didn't happen, right? When they use it for other people, they're using it as a pejorative for real. It'd be on your head. And my point was, wait a minute, but you did the job. And you got the degree. So obviously you was qualified. They didn't make a bad choice. It actually worked like it was supposed to work to give people the opportunity to be able to succeed in environments where the opportunity just was not there, based off of Jim Crow laws, right? Based off of antiquated thinking and science, the whole 9 yards. That was my point.
See, Chill, you came back. Anybody else want to comment?
Yeah, just let me say that I agree with God Killer in that respect, because during this last election cycle, we can go to when they use DEI and who they're referring to. The only time that I can recall that they made any reference to white women was the first assassination attempt to Donald Trump. But out of all the times I heard critiques about DEI, they were talking about black and LGBTQ people. That's what I mostly heard coming out of people's mouths. And that's propaganda. And so because people may have this bent up frustration about perceived advancements of certain groups, you can use that to manipulate what you're actually arguing about and what the data actually shows. So while, yes, most women, white women, have benefited from both affirmative action and DEI, that is not the face of their complaint. And we don't want to mistake the face of the complaint, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
It's a great point. And the white women are not being excluded from being hired because of the color of their skin. So a black woman is twofold: the color of skin and the fact that they marginalize women. So they get a double dose of it. White women is just because they women, and that's the way the males decide to treat them. But it ain't the color of their skin. Black women got 2-3 strikes against them right off the top. Black men got 2-3 strikes against them. The whole conversation is interesting. That proves positive why we need to understand how to vote, voting packs, how to put it together, what issue that we really want, what should we do? That just underlines all that. Like we run around here with no literacy, no scientific literacy, which actually helps promote your civic duties and understand what those civic duties are as African Americans.
I think
Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I think I understand both of y'all points. My point was saying that it was beneficial to listen. I guess I don't really pay attention. I pay attention to what people say, but only to an extent. If the majority of DEI hire was mainly, as far as the word, applied to black, brown per se, right? It's the pejorative. They don't say it about white women. But if white women are the main beneficiary, well, not the main, but the people that benefit the most from it, when they take it away, it's not something that for all the people talking about the white man this and the white people this and the white people the majority, because Trump, that's how Trump won, because it was the white majority. Well, one of the main beneficiaries of something they're about to take away is going to be affected by it. So when you look at it in a different term, I know it's not popular, I get it, but if you look at it just a little bit different, this isn't a black law.
No, but here's the thing, though. It doesn't.
I get the pejorative.
What I'm saying is that
because somebody said it. Okay,
listen,
cool. People say a lot of stuff.
But listen, white people are the majority. So
right.
So when it comes to welfare, white people benefit more than African Americans. You know what I'm saying? So that scenario exists pretty much in all constructs because they outnumber us numerically. But just because it damages more white people in totality because they have the numbers doesn't mean the impact amongst African Americans aren't greater to our population than that population.
I agree, but
because those same white women, a lot of same white women, they live in a household with white men who also have. See what I'm saying? So that's why you can't.
In some cases, but I agree with you. But my overreaching point is, I don't know. It's similar to when they talked about civil rights, because one of the words in that statement that Trump said to me that was more problematic is when they were talking about the civil rights being affected and the civil rights this. And most people, if you really look at these laws, the laws, even the civil right, the 14th Amendment, the affirmative action, things like that, we usually tend to not benefit from it as much as anybody else. It's probably the most publicized thing because they'll just call it a black law similar to DEI. But in my opinion, just my opinion, I wouldn't focus so much on what they're saying. as far as a pejorative. If you, if somebody's calling you a DI hire, it is what it is. If you know how to, like Unc said, if you knew how to do the job, it just gave you the opportunity to get the job. And then, if you stay there, it is what it is. But I also don't trust some of these institutions that was using it to back. I agree with that part of it in his statement, that a lot of the people were using it as an ideological stance and a way to get money versus a way to actually help people that needed it. So I'm not saying you should
say it again, Brass, to
get
for the institution to get money, right?
Part of the statement that he made, if you watch his actual statement, they've been talking about this for a while because there's money that goes along with this. So there were some situations where, and I would think a lot of situations where it wasn't really a situation where they were trying to necessarily help an affected group. It was for certain schools, like you get a certain amount of money if you meet this quota. So they were just putting people in these positions to meet the quota to get the money, but then not necessarily helping them, putting them in positions. There was a situation with Black colleges a while ago where they were talking about with the fraternities. It kind of became a headline and then it didn't. Where they were talking about there should be no such thing as Black fraternities. They were saying how that's taking as racist. I don't agree, but I'm just saying not his main point, removing Trump from it. The Republican Party's main point, in my opinion, from when I heard and hear people talk about it, is the money in and around it, because that's what the reparations comment from other people made, is the money that's gained in and around it can be used for other things. And I kind of, I hate to say it, I do actually agree with the financial part. If they took the financial part of it, you meet this quota, so we're going to give you X amount of tax dollars or X amount of funding. If they could take the funding part out of it, then I would feel a lot better about it. Because once you add people into anything, when it comes to money, because when you try to do something, and you've probably seen this probably more than me, when the government tries to do something, or just people in general, in practice, a lot of things make sense. But once you start adding money and people, and it tends to turn into like a cash grab. So now you don't really care about the law in its base. You're mainly just trying to make sure, I'm gonna make sure out of 10 people, I got 2 Asians, 2 LGBTQ, 2 older, 2 Black, 2 white, and then I'm gonna get this money, irregardless of whether it's right or not, irregardless of if you're even fitting it. People are just forced, it's like a force fit. And that's that backlash that they was talking about, even with affirmative action. They will put these CEOs in these places, but you're putting them in positions where even if they was qualified, they wasn't respected. They'd have to work, even though we all know you got to work 10 times as hard to get the position. It's just a thought. That's my opinion. These aren't facts.
But so Brass, you would be okay then if it's just private industry who's got DEI initiatives then? If for instance, a lot of companies like Microsoft and Procter & Gamble, name these large corporations that have these DEI initiatives, they're not being funded by the government. They're not being funded by taxpayers' monies.
But we're talking about schools. When he was talking about the DEI initiatives, where a kid that's qualified to get into the school, but can't get into the school now because you have to have a certain amount. And this is why I say it's not just Black. And that's why when I say it's not just Black, it's important. Because you have the age, even the age of the student has to be a mix of a certain age. You have to have a certain level of LGBTQ. You have to have a certain level of Asian. You have to have a certain level of everything. I think when you do an admittance to a school and say, I got to meet these quotas so I can keep this funding, I don't know. I think that becomes problematic because in a perfect world, that would be great in a utopia. But when you use people who obviously when money gets involved, different things happen. I think the money aspect is what bothers me per se. And the fact that they're I would hope that they would just take the money aspect out, because by taking DEI away, it's going to become, who's going to be hurt the most? Us, Black people. Black people be hurt the most by it. I agree with that, but I don't know. It's just, these are just opinion things. I'm just having a conversation. I don't have a factual thing for that.
I keep hearing quotas. Where are we getting quotas in DEI? Where's that coming from? Where's that coming from? That DEI has quotas.
What do you mean?
I mean, you saying that the DEI, like they got to reach a certain quota amount of people. Where is that coming from?
Where would you think I would be saying that from, Marcus?
I don't know because DEI program it's illegal to have quotas. That's
Oh,
been since
really?
the 19.
Isn't it still based on qualification?
Yeah.
No, you
so
could be qualified. So let me ask you a question. So when they do the DEI practices, then why are they trying to stop her from schools then? What is the if it's not a maybe I use a poor choice of words, which you would catch, but if it's not a quota, then what would be the point of DEI? What would be the point of it per se?
The point, the initial point was right
because it started with Kennedy.
So the initial point was to address the harms of racial discrimination. We had a long course on that.
Yeah.
That it started from that to address racial discrimination, right? They came out with bills. They came through. They did their work or whatever. Okay. Initially, they attempted to do quotas, but that got repealed because you can't do that. And so since the 1980s, they have not been using quotas. What they do use is adverse situations, and that is perfectly legal. And we use it all the time in other situations.
So
right?
even though they don't, right?
So even if we use it because we got handicapped parking spaces, that would be
okay.
So we got that. So the only reference in which we're talking about is when it comes to white man and black folks. And the reason why I say that, not that black folks are the only ones getting it, is because just like the welfare queen became the spokesperson for welfare fraud, they used black women. And when they did the welfare reform, you look on the picture with Clinton signing the bill, it's a bunch of black women. And so my problem with it is the message behind it is that black people aren't qualified. Yes, white people benefit from DEI, Asians benefit from DEI, and all these other groups. But it's this group that getting pointed out as being unqualified.
So Marcus,
their intentions may not be to attack black people. It may be to keep white women in their homes and all like that.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it too. Yeah.
So when I used the word quota, or well, you got on the word quota. So when they say they're trying to reach a certain goal based on data and accountability, what do you think they're talking about? Let's take out the word quota. I'll say I misspoke. So, when they say they're trying to reach a certain goal based on data and accountability, what do they mean?
What they're saying is we want to diversify our workforce so that we can get the highest potential possible. That's what they're talking about.
So 10 white men. All right. So my question would be: so then 10 white men at a job. Let's just say at 10, that wouldn't be meeting DEI standards, correct?
It could be.
If 10 white men, literally the law is made for everything but 10 white men.
No, it's not. Because if those people came from an impoverished community, they get included. Remember?
Well, no, I understand. Yeah, I know, but we're not. I know you adding the extra part. I'm just saying literally. Listen. When they do the data, when they're saying they need to meet a goal based on data and accountability, let's just say 10 people that don't meet 10 white men that don't meet the DEI standards. Let's just say that. So obviously they could be poor, they could be disabled, they could be old. I get it. Those fall under DEI. I'm saying 10 white men that don't fall under DEI. What data would they use to meet? And then why would they say they're trying to meet a goal? So what would the goal be? So quota is a poor choice of words. Then what would the goal be?
Quotas. The goal is to match the American populace with the benefits that they have. So if you have a diverse population, the workforce should be just as diverse. Now, that doesn't mean that if there's 13% in this community, black people, they're looking to have 13% black people working in the
No, I agree with you on that.
What they're saying is we should match the diversity that the community and country is in. And that's all DEI is about. And then they intentionally look to these factors. And then they list with factors Excuse me. So even when you talk about the issue with affirmative action,
Mm-hmm.
what was the actual argument? It was Asian man saying that if you equate race as a factor, we would be discriminated against, right? Because they say that. But then when you go actually look at the records, that wasn't actually what was going on. They had a lot of factors that was being weighed into there, with race being one of them. Now, naturally, there's a law that says, well, that's arguable about what that law actually means. But
Well,
nevertheless,
yeah, so yeah, I get what you mean
that
by that.
but the point is not, that's what I said, the messaging behind DEI is problematic. Like they completely misconstrued what the message was about. Like they I mean, it's the wildest thing I ever heard.
I can agree with
get it.
that. I can agree with that.
All right.
I just think when you use words like we're gonna, we have this workplace or we have this student body and we're gonna use this data and this accountability to reach these goals. I think they're not saying quota because that is illegal. I agree with you on that. That's part of the thing is, they're using the 14th Amendment. But I do in my mind, and I don't know, like I said, it was my opinion, but I do believe that they do look for a certain number to reach a certain amount of money. Because if anything, then what is the money based on? If they're receiving a certain amount of funding, because that's the main issue with the schools, they're receiving a certain amount of funding as long as they follow these DEI initiatives. So what is the money? If it's not to reach a certain number of this or a certain number of that, or at least to follow the initiatives, then what are they getting paid based on?
To
just having the program in practice.
So let's say that there's a study, right? A scientific study that says that children who come from impoverished places, who have breakfast, eat well, do better in school, right? Those communities that have a high percentage of impoverished students would get allocated more money so that they can have a food program to feed the kids that don't have it. That's what happens. The problem is that the reason why it has a disproportionate amount of black people is because of redlining. And so it always comes back to these practices that were already established that cause people to be, how can I say it, that had a negative impact on the quality of life of these people because of what they already did.
Yeah, it's a systemic issue.
Right. So people are taking the reason that's the part out of it and framing it as if they're trying to give these people some, when in reality we're just talking about a response based upon these negative effects that we have already done.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
That's what the money is about. It's not even specifically to the program. It's about, this is what we know happens. This is what the results are. How can we address that? Right?
Look it up.
And what we do,
the wording. Hey, Marcus, since you're on that, right? So I just looked it up. The wording is hilarious. So it says instead funds are allocated based on, because quotas are illegal. Instead, funds are allocated based on broader, legally permissible frameworks that aim to promote diversity, equity, right? But then it goes to the first thing, performance-based goals, and in parentheses is not quotas. Schools may receive funding based on achieving specific, measurable goals related to diversity and equity, such as increasing access to underrepresented groups or improving retention rates. The difference is the goals are aspirational benchmarks, whereas quotas are rigid, legally binding numerical requirements. Okay, yeah, that's wild. You just educated me on something I didn't know. That's wild. So basically the schools are getting paid on the aspiration of being diverse, equitable, and inclusive. But they don't actually have to be. Then they should get rid of it. Because it doesn't actually help. I don't know. I'm gonna look more into that. I appreciate that, Marcus. Thanks.
So you got out of that, they shouldn't have it.
I mean, because see, this is what I mean by
when
you put a law in the hand of people. Now think about this, when you put a law in the hand of people that's supposed to benefit a certain targeted group that's being affected, but then you say The schools receive funding based on specific measurable goals.
Okay.
And then it says, but the goals are aspirational benchmarks. It can't be a quota because quotas are rigid and illegal. So technically, you don't have to, all you got to do is have a class on DEI. And you've reached your aspirational, because the aspiration ain't, you can't measure an aspiration. You can't measure an aspiration. I aspire to be 180 pounds. I'm gonna have a cheesesteak right after this conversation.
You should. You shouldn't need to go.
I mean, aspiration is wild.
Diversity classes. So that includes diversity classes. Am I correct?
Having like a class, I'm assuming. Yeah, it says classes.
Okay, so let me say this. I mean, how many of y'all have been in a situation with your children at school and you realize that school needed some type of diversity training? Have y'all been in that situation yet?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Okay, so take it back to my daughter, my oldest daughter. She had gotten into some trouble, okay, and her friends got in some trouble. Now, all her friends, their average grade point was like 90 students. Boom. Athletes, okay. 3 of them. Y'all hear what I'm saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now my daughter's an athlete, but the friends she hang like I got like I don't let you hang with anybody. So all of them 90 students, shit like that. And my daughter's an athlete, right? Boom. 3 of them, sisters. 1 white girl. The white girl been thrown out of school 3, 4, 5 times, wild, crazy, the whole 9 yards, right? Boom. All right. They know the girl. They all in class. They all in class. Okay.
When you get a chance,
What
look at
is
this. I sent you a picture. I want you to take a look at it.
You bugging, Joel.
Hey, Brett. Who is that?
That's Joel.
Joel, you out there. You out there. Got mute out. So, situation happens in class. The schools they go to, they got like, the teachers have like a panic button that they can push in the classroom. It's a white teacher, and the white girl starts to get into a back and forth, right? I don't know how my daughters and them actually stood up, and I think they was trying to like, all right, calm it down, right? The white lady felt like that they was rude, and she kind of feared for her life. I was like, okay. So we have this meeting. Y'all got the scenario. I go into the meeting. The other black parents are there. They shaking in their motherfucking boots, right? They trying to figure out, can we take this? I'm like, y'all not gonna be able to take this. I already know you ain't gonna be able to take it. I said the school should have some a camera, something in this room where it can actually tape the proceedings, right? So when we walk in there, there's a damn police in there. First thing I say is, why you here? White guy. He was like, what do you mean? I said, why you here? It doesn't make sense for you to be here. You sitting here with your gun. I say, like, you think it's gonna be a problem? Now you know the white girl parents is not here. You already know that. All right, because he's a misfit for real. So they try to start recording stuff like, no, you can't allow to record it. I say we actually allowed to record it, but y'all supposed to record it. You don't have the stuff to record the thing, right? So I'm talking to the principal. She's a white lady, right? The assistant principal is a black man. There's a white police, and we start to have this conversation. I quickly understood, right, that the issue was the white teacher couldn't handle teenage black girls or African Americans. That she claimed to be in fear, right? So I asked the question. I say, well, you couldn't have actually been in fear because you didn't push the panic button. There's a panic button there. And I said, oh, by the way, why would you be in fear of my daughters as opposed to being in fear of the white girl? I said, she's the troublemaker. I say, so the fact that my daughters then walked up on her desk is what she claimed put her in fear. If she'd have had some type of diversity training, she'd have recognized that 1, they're A students, and 2, they've never given me in trouble, and 3, you're not fear for your life, Miss Lady, right? Boom. So they wanted me to sign some kind of paperwork. It was the most ridiculous shit ever. I wouldn't sign it. You got into this big back and forth. It was crazy. I caught the teacher outside, right? Just bumped into her. I said, how you doing? She said, how you doing? I said, yes. I said, so you okay? She was like, yeah, I'm okay. And she said, you know what? I just can't handle them older kids. I was like, oh, really? You can't handle the older kids? That's interesting. I said, okay. You doors in them, your doors, she was not a problem. She go, I said, okay, not a problem. So then I go back a couple days, go back to the school. I said, the issue is with the teacher is one, she doesn't understand how to deal with African American females. I said, but more than anything, she doesn't understand how to deal with older kids. You have that lady in the wrong situation. And I was like, man, you know what? It was some incidents. So anyway, at the end of the day, right? They kind of recognize this thing, right? But having some type of training, right? That we just talked about would have bode well in that situation. And two, putting the teacher in the situation that she would flourish better, like with younger kids. So they actually took my recommendation on that. I say all to say, man, that most schools don't have this type of training, and we kind of fought for that, right? If you listen to this podcast, man, you need to really participate in the lives of your children because they can you can be in a situation where your kids end up getting certain disciplinary measures if you don't understand the lingo and understand what's really going on around you. And those marks can actually follow you. So my daughter, she's about to graduate this year from college. Great student, played basketball, but that could have kind of held her back a little bit. But that diversity training shit is not there, yo. And we need to push for that more often.
That's a good point. Congratulations on that, by the way.
You gotta have heart, bro, when it comes to your babies, yo. You can't be ignorant. You can't be yelling and screaming. You can't go in there God killer style. You know what I mean? You gotta go in there and read the fucking room, yo.
Good point.
Yep. Hey, just to again, I'm still trying to understand Brass's point about money in schools. So Brass, your biggest, I won't say it's a problem, but your biggest concern is that money in schools in the schools drives problematic outcomes for DEI. It's not that you're against DEI. You're just saying that get the money out. And in fact, you don't even have problems with DEI in industry, in private industry.
No, I don't. I think when you tie funding to something, and I guess that's probably why I misspoke and used the word quotas. Because I mean, I know that there's money being paid to schools in regards to DEI practices and stuff. But when you say aspirational, I'm trying to figure out how you measure that. Like, how do you? I know you could probably use graduation rates or something like that, but when you just say, and I quote, it says, schools may receive funding. It's performance-based goals, not quotas. Schools may receive funding based on achieving specific measurable goals related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So it's increasing access for underrepresented groups and improving retention rates. Cool. But it says the difference between goals and quotas is that goals are aspirational, whereas quotas are rigid, legally binding numerically. So a college might set a goal to increase the percentage of first-generation college students, but you would not mandate a fixed number. So I get that. I get the difference between you having a goal and that. But when you throw in the word aspiration in regards to money, you can easily say, I tried, this is what I did, we didn't reach it, give me the money.
Yeah, but that makes sense though, doesn't it?
It makes sense in the utopia where I don't think, also, Ron, just so you understand, I'm not really for, when it comes to money, especially money that has to come out of my pocket, your pocket, anybody's pocket, I like specificity when it comes to money. So I would rather have a set thing if I'm paying for it, because I don't trust the person on the other side that's receiving the money that's just saying, well, we tried as hard as we could and we was only able to retain X amount of person or hire X amount of person, because I don't think you should, if you're going to receive money, there should be some kind of specificity to it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Not a law. So that's where I have an issue per se with it for me.
Yeah, I understand. I think what you're saying makes sense. But typically, I think in these situations, wouldn't they, like in private industry, they have these aspirational goals. And so they say, okay, over the next 5 years, 10 years, pick a number. We're gonna our goal is to have this many qualified underrepresented people in these positions. And then let's say in year 2, they're short of their goal.
Right.
then their obligation is to come back with a corrective action plan, let's say, a plan to make sure that they hit their aspirational goals moving out. Just don't say, "Oh, we missed it," and that's that. They
No,
come
I
back with a
completely
plan.
agree. But those
Yeah.
corporations didn't receive money from the federal government. You see
No,
what I'm
I'm talking
saying?
about I'm talking about even the schools who, let's say if it's a school that's receiving money, they should also be required to come back with or countermeasures and corrective action plans.
I think, well, yeah, I think they should meet the goal. I know, like, I
Yeah,
know for like in Washington D.C. a while back,
yeah.
um, they said they did an alarming federal study, and in this study they found out that I'm just throwing out I don't know it exactly. You can look it up for the specifics, but X amount of schools, I think it was either Maryland or Washington D.C. X amount of schools are are not even at the rate of I think it was math. It was some kind of educational standard.
Hmm.
Most of the students in this such and such are reading at this level or doing math at this level, and they cut the funding. And they said, we'll just come in because we gave y'all the opportunity to do such and such. We'll come in and fix it. I'm okay with that. Because if you ever heard don't throw good money after bad, per se?
Yeah, yeah.
If you just paying people over and over and over again, and they're not performing to where they at, and you think you could just throw, I'm not a person that believes, I was always taught if you have a problem that money could solve, you don't have a problem. You just take steps, you use strategies to fix it. Money doesn't always solve every problem per se.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have an issue. I would have an issue with that. But like I said, I'm one person, and that's just me. And I'm not a big believer in I definitely think we should have way less government than what we already have. I think we have way too much. That's like a personal thing with me. So when you start talking about the government and paying, I know the lobbying that goes around it. I know the people that are in charge of these things. I know when these bills are passed, you see the large bill on the top, like even Obamacare. I hate to always use this example, but it's the one most people know. When you look at Obamacare, in order to get the bipartisan support that he needed, some of the things that were shoved in there were just detrimental. And that's any bill or law. I just use that as an example because you see it. So I just know that they're not out to help per se. That's just me.
So do you believe then that the whole lexicon of DEI should be taken out of the usage and out of the government and out of industry? You think?
I think there should be. If you want to be not radical, but if I was being radical, I would like something specifically for Black people or something specifically for LGBTQ, and then track where that money goes, make it measured, and make it like, listen, this is what this has to be. And if they call you an affirmative action hire or they call you a DEI hire, fine. But at the end of the day, we make sure that there's no way that a company like Google that we use every day technically doesn't have to hire any Black people if they choose to. I think because when in doubt, when able to run amok, I think these companies would choose to run amok. Things like nepotism, which exists, but things like that. So when you flex power, like a quick example, I apologize, I'm talking way too much, but they just got on Deion Sanders today or yesterday. They were saying if your son Shador or Travis Hunter, would you have some say in what school they go to? I mean, what NBA team he goes to? And he literally said, like, I wouldn't say it publicly, but privately, I know what teams my son is going to. Like that kind of power, and they were blasting him for it. They were saying like, nah, you got to let him live his life, this, that, and the other. He said, no, I'm his father, and I make that decision. And you didn't say that with Archie Manning. See the double standard? Archie Manning decided where Eli Manning was going to go. Like he's supposed to go, I think, to the Chargers or something like that. And then Archie Manning stepped in and said, no, my son's not playing for you. Let's sort this out. He's going to the Giants. And he made it happen. People were lauding him for it. They were applauding him for it. He went on to win 2 Super Bowls. Well, when Deion Sanders does it, I guess because he's a Black man, he has a Black son, he's supposed to just do whatever. No, when you have the power, use it. So when we keep saying why don't we get this and why don't we get reparations? Why don't because we don't have the power. We're not black people are not a unified group. We're just a group. We're a group of people. Y'all, people say it's a social construct. It's a social construct. We shouldn't even be focused on it. But then when we vote, we're supposed to be completely focused on voting for the group. What we're missing is the power.
The conversation boils down to leverage every single time.
Yeah.
I think that
I apologize, Ron. I hope I answered
we are a unified group. Pretty much as far as group goes, the problem is just our numbers, bro. You can be as unified as you want, but when your population is only we only make up 30% of the population. How much impact can you have? You know what I'm saying? So even with the dominant society, they could be a unified group of 30%, and that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I think we are unified. Just our numbers are just too low to make that kind of an impact. Like even with the election, our numbers are powerful enough to make an impact in certain areas. That's why in those areas it's more beneficial for us as a group. But in certain areas, it doesn't matter if we unify as a group or not, we would have no impact over there.
But I would even be happy if we found a religion. I know I'm going to disagree, but I would even be happier if we found a religion and unified under that. Because Jews are only we're only 2% of the population. The 2%. Jewish people are 2% of the population. And I would say, as far as besides the I guess just Christians, they wield a sword. Slap a Jew in New York, they're going to shut it down. You do anything to a Jewish person in New York, say anything about a Jewish person in New York, it's over with. The ADA is going to come after you, and that's that. When you do something to a black person, Crump, I guess that lawyer is going to show up, or the NAACP or something like that, and then we figure out where it goes from there. So it isn't just numbers. Power is not. You don't have to be the largest people. For example, like.
But I get it. But hold on, before you go.
I'm done. I was done.
I get that. And but the Jews are also white. Like, we still can't leave that out.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Yeah,
I don't agree. I know scientifically. I know scientifically they are, but white. I know scientifically they are. I know that.
And mostly the only people the Europeans that oppose you are mostly right wing extremists that oppose. So even when that 2% steps out, the other white people will step out in defense of Jews because they're still white.
No, I don't think because when racists, the open racists, the supremacists, they hate them as much, if not more than us.
Yeah, only red, but the right way make up a small percentage.
White people have a love-hate relationship with Jews.
Everybody has a love-hate relationship but you better not get on an open mic and say your love-hate. It better just be love and hold the hate for private.
Yeah, I mean that's why
they fired. You'll be removed. We need that kind of power.
You remember when they used to call this nation purely Christian nation. Now what is it? It's a Judeo-Christian nation.
Yep.
And that to me tells me that the power, as you mentioned, from the small population of Jews in this country, and even in the world, I wouldn't even say in the country, just America, even in the world, but it's because of how they have prioritized culturally, that they prioritize culturally the things that they're interested in. Education, banking, media. Those are the things that ultimately control everything. If you control the media, you basically control the nation. So they control most of the, if not all of the major media, banking concerns, financial concerns. They control a disproportionately large amount of that. Scientific endeavors. Who gets the most Nobel Prizes in the world? I mean, they have made priorities, and I think that culturally, if we do the same thing, don't stop prioritizing, sports and things. I shouldn't say stop, but because I enjoy sports. But stop
prioritizing sweat equity over.
Yeah, exactly. That's another good point. I mean, if you ask the average black kid, when you want to be when you grow up, they'll say, play basketball
Man,
or
they want to
football or
stream now,
something.
Ron. They want to be streamers now, Ron.
Yeah, stream.
No
Yeah,
question.
gaming. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that. Yeah, nothing wrong with
no
that.
question.
But what I'm saying though is that it's all about prioritizing things culturally to be able to change things in America. Because at the end of the day, America is about capitalism. Ultimately,
Both parties, would you agree?
yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, both parties.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
ultimately,
it's
yeah.
not just the Republican Party that's
No, I
focusing
mean,
on capitalism. You would
no,
say
I mean,
both of them are focused on
both of them.
capitalism.
I mean, think about
Okay.
even the Obamacare. The in order to be able to get it passed through Congress, they ended up giving insurance companies basically everything they wanted.
Carte blanche.
Yeah, everything they wanted. So of course it's about industry in this country and in the world. Capitalism rules. But you just have to, we have to as a people, I think, and this is like pie in the sky, kumbaya-ish, that
Exactly.
it's, it's easier said than done. Changing cultures, because the Jews, when they came out of the Holocaust, they said never again, and they making damn sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, they got it done.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
that's why I have that issue when we say, you voted white or you voted black. There is no black party. There is no black candidate. There's no, the Chomsky said, I told Chef this earlier, Chomsky said, and I agree with him, the there's one party in the United States, business. It's just two different factions of it.
Yeah, of course.
There's one party. It's just business. It's all business. They all
Yes.
go to corporate donors. They all lobbied for special interests. It's just there's a Democratic portion of it and there's a Republican portion of it. So when you talk about, well, you voted this way per se, well, I mean, I get it. Maybe a faction of the same thing. The same thing. And that's just my 2 cents. But somebody else to talk. I've been talking a lot.
No, I think you've been doing a great job. I mean, I feel like it's unfortunate, and I gotta say my little piece, man. I don't like that the conversation literally becomes brash. You explain why the Republicans do everything that they do. I mean, that's kind of a phenomenon. But I mean, I can understand that you're like everybody knows what your positions are, and they expect you to be able to have like the inside scoop on why Republicans do whatever. But I think this is a good conversation, right? And then I want, if people can be more aware of the circle that the conversations go in, because it'll always at some point touch on how it affects us, and then at some other point in the conversation it'll touch on, so why can't we do it? And the conversations don't typically spend much time in the how do we now start to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might touch on it briefly, but we don't spend enough time on it to maybe even to flush out some good ideas, bad ideas. And and it might be just as simple as just playing the game, right? To see what we got to do to form those political action committees and be able to position ourselves to where we can actually make some demands and produce some candidates that have our agendas on their forefronts, and and take it from there. Even with that, have some baby steps to it, because he's only one candidate in a big in a big huge ocean of other voices out there trying to state their positions and have their agendas set to the forefront. So I mean, that's a big part of the conversation too. Now back with the DEI thing though, right? Because the DEI, at least the Department of Justice, is who Trump is saying that he wants to weaponize against the Department of Education. Right? That's the department that he's going to use to make his claim and actually tear down Department of Education. So to me, right, basically you'd be saying that without this Department of Education, you would send all of the I guess everything education related to the states, and it wouldn't have any sort of federal regulations as far as budget wise. So does that have any implications in states where the income is super duper low, and you already have a really low budget as far as education and public education more specifically. I think that I think that's a pretty strong question right there, because you're already talking about poor areas where they don't have the ability to pull a lot of tax dollars together to get some of this budget up. And then if you take away a big institution like um, the Department of Education, it doesn't leave them with much else to do. At least I'm talking about the local people, other than maybe drive further and pay a little bit more if they want some kind of halfway decent education. What do you think about that?
Most people that live in lower income communities, and this is before DEI, before affirmative action. Hell, would you ever seen the movie Hoop Dreams?
Who
In order to
no,
go to,
not specifically.
if you live in any underserved area or any whatever, if your parents want you to be able to reap the benefits of better schooling, better this, better that. You've always had to wake up 2 hours earlier than your friends that went to the local school that wasn't necessarily high achieving, and go to a different school per se, or go to the school in the other town. You live in one town, go to a private school in another. You take a test to get in, you get a scholarship to get in, whatever reason that is for. I don't think that that's necessarily going to change. I don't think DEI, I don't think that's something that's been happening since time. And honestly, Logic, I'm not a pull yourself up by your bootstraps, because the playing field isn't level. But to be quite honest, it's never going to be easy no matter what you do. When you put a DEI hire, if you want to call it that, let's say you put somebody that's quote unquote hired from the effects of DEI or something like that. If they're qualified and they get into the position, it's still going to be sink or swim. People that aren't DEI hires and just go to a position or go to a school, you still got to go to class. You still got to do this. So I don't know what's going to happen to lower income areas because of DEI going away. But I would assume in most cases a person is going to have to bust their ass. I'm going to say pause. I don't know why, but either way, because because that's just life in general. Life is different forms of struggle, and a lot of failure to get one or two successes.
I think though, Logic, I think you asked a good question. And it's sort of ironic to me. Here's the rub of the whole thing, is that all of these states, all of these red states, or the majority of these red states that voted for Trump, overwhelmingly for Trump, if the Department of Education went away today, they would be the ones that would be the most negatively impacted by this stuff, by the fact that the Department of Education went away and the funding all of a sudden dropped. Because we all know that it's the so-called blue states that actually contribute the most to taxes and to federal taxes and the things like that actually go into the coffers of the Treasury. It's not these red states. The state that I live in, South Carolina, is one of the poorest states, and it's not the poorest. It's one of the poorest states in the nation. Has definitely in a lot of the areas, very bad educational systems. So it's to me, that's really the issue. This is what I understand about some of our white citizens, is that why do they vote for this thing that's going to impact them just as negatively as it's going to impact everybody else. Forget this whole conversation about DEI. Let's talk about fundamentally education. If you have bad education, it's going to affect everybody's children, not just Black kids. I mean, why get riled up about teaching about Black history in schools when that's a small piece of the pie? We should be more worried about teaching foundational science and mathematics in these schools. But yet they say, oh, we want everything to go back to teaching, evolution. I'm sorry, teaching creationism in school, saying the Pledge of Allegiance and those are the most important things to us in schools. I don't understand it. To me, sometimes I think this whole DEI thing, although it's important, it can be used as a red herring. especially when you talk about dismantling the Department of Education. That I think you asked a very good and very appropriate question. That moving forward, I think these people who voted for Trump overwhelmingly, they're going to feel. I mean, if he's able to carry out what he says he's going to do, they're going to feel the brunt of this just as much as anybody else. And they're not immune to it either. They're not going to be immune to it.
So
Yeah,
essentially, I
it
asked
feels
him.
like something has to happen on a local level.
Let me say
It
this.
feels like, yeah.
So essentially, I asked because also we before the election we were, we were in the battle about the Project 25. So I asked essentially, ChatGPT, does it fit within the framework Project 2025? So it basically says, right? So it basically says, yes, Project 2025 explicitly addresses diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative, including hiring practices. This project advocates for the elimination of DEI programs across federal agencies, viewing them as a vehicle for advancing what it terms left-wing race and gender ideology. It proposes removing DEI related terms from all federal rules, regulation, contracts, grants, and legislation. So additionally, Project 2025 suggests that participation in DEI initiatives without objection on constitutional or moral grounds should be considered grounds for termination of employment. This indicates a move towards reducing or eliminating DEI-focused roles and programs within the federal workforce. This project also recommends reversing the DEI revolution in labor policy in favor of more race-neutral regulation aimed to shift away from DEI-focused hiring and employment practice. So in summary, Project 25 seeks to dismantle DEI initiative within the federal government, including those related to hiring, employment, blah, blah, blah. So that I just want to point out that also we can, we can just point that maybe that's some overlap between just reality, but that also fits within the framework of Project 25.
That's a good point. You got people waiting, I think. I think Chef or Fake, somebody in the chat was saying that people waiting.
We got American Dream and American Dream crash out, bro. I don't see nobody else.
I think DQ.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I think that's a part of it that definitely makes it kind of scary to me, right? Because he did all of that work to kind of disassociate himself from Project 25, and he's not even in office yet, and he's putting together, a plan that is not even say based on Project 2025, but it's inside of the framework of Project 2025.
Yeah, well, Project 2025 was hundreds of pages long too, and I mean he publicly distanced himself. I know people don't believe it, but he publicly distanced himself. It was written by the Heritage Foundation. It was a transition plan for the first 180 days. So the fact that some of the stuff is going to come into play, or he would attempt to get some of the stuff, or the Republican Party, or however you want to name it, would get some of the stuff to come into play, it's not a stretch because it's a transition plan. I mean, Reagan had a project, something similar. This is just political practice. So some of the things you saw in there, in some way, shape, or form, will come to play. I think people's issue.
That's why I say we can dismiss it and put it as overlap, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't dismiss it.
I just bring it up because, like I said, we could do Trump tracker. You know what I mean? So we can.
Yeah, I want to follow it. I'm gonna follow this tracker. I said that to somebody else. They bust out laughing yesterday. So.
Trump tracker.
Bust out laughing. You need to copyright it because somebody might take that and make some bread with it, and you'll be mad.
Yeah, copyright that shit.
I said it on my show and such and such, and that person ain't gonna care, bro.
I'm gonna do the Negro way. I complain later. Beat
and let it blow up.
That's why I get on TV. That's why I can be on TV and shit. Go ahead, American Dream.
I'm gonna let the sample run before I sue your ass.
Yeah, American Dream. Go ahead. What's on your mind, bro?
Hey, peace. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thanks for letting me in. Blessings to everyone. I wanted to just speak on. I think a couple of people had a concern about the Department of Ed being dismantled and what happens to the funds and what happens to the schools that would get that funding. I think that if the Department of Education is dismantled, I think the tax money is still going to be there, but I think what's likely to happen is that different different governmental departments would distribute those funds. So schools would still get their, like, there are certain funds for that. There are certain federal programs that fund certain schools that are in, so-called poverty areas. They fund certain programs for special ed students. They fund I think it's Title VII, which is just certain programs that the federal government funds. I think the federal government funds less than 20% of a state's public school system. Most of the funding for public schools come from the states, and the federal government spends less than 20 on it. But the funds that the government spends would just be allocated to a different governmental department, and that governmental department would be in charge of distributing those funds to the schools. So the schools would not necessarily lose any funds. It's just that the government would get smaller, and another government agency would be responsible for doing that work. And I think that the idea is just to get rid of a lot of waste that's going on in government. There's just a lot of people doing a lot of repetitive work, a lot of people being responsible for the same thing. So I think those funds are still going to be. I think if the Department of Ed gets dismantled, I don't necessarily think that people that are in public schools are going to know the difference.
The news has actually already kind of addressed it a little bit, and it's really more to do with the specific expertise of people who've been working in education for all of that time. Now now you're going to give it to, and I think what they were saying is the Department of Justice will probably take over, but they don't have any experience in education. So whereas they might have a budget, they may not necessarily have the ability to put together the same type of plan people who've been working in education for 20 years would be able to, or some of the some of the groundwork behind their efforts.
Well, I think a lot of times, in regards to a lot of these policies, when people say get rid of, I think that's a really good point, is that a lot of it is just saying that the federal government is not going to handle it. I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you hear the words, and this is how I'm saying, a lot of people I talk to, I know that they either didn't vote, they didn't read the policies, or they're not really aware that a lot of times, in a lot of these things on the tagline way off in the bottom, it's, yes, get rid of it. No, it's the federal government is not going to handle this. Let the state take care of it. The federal government is not going to handle this per se. Give the responsibility to the state so you could trim government. I don't know. I am always for,
listen,
in most cases, trimming government.
You can examine.
You
can examine, respond, and see if y'all think there's validity to it. I asked the robot. So here we go. And here's how it could impact. So it says reduction in federal funding for DIE programs. So it says public schools often rely on federal grants and programs aimed at promoting diversity and equity. For instance, the Magnet School Assistance Program provides funds to help desegregate public schools and develop innovative educational practices. Eliminating DEI funding will likely reduce or eliminate such programs affecting schools that depend on these resources to support diverse student population. So that's one way that it would affect it. Y'all, people agree or disagree with that?
No, I can agree, but even if federally DEI was removed, some states would still keep it. So I mean, I don't. Yeah, some states would say, we'll keep this going. We'll still use it. But if you live in Florida, it's not likely.
Yeah,
if you live
the
in certain states that you live in,
right. So we can agree that certain things are just better left in terms of there's certain things that should be kept federal and certain that can go to state. We can at least agree to that.
Yes.
Right. So the debate would be, is it better served at the federal level or the state level? That could be another conversation that we will piggyback on, but that would be the conversation.
Yeah.
Because it definitely has impact.
Yeah, I was surprised. Hey, I appreciate you, Sosa, for Georgia. For Georgia, I appreciate you, man. that even Georgia electorally voted for Trump also, and that's supposed to be like
No, but it flipped. But
appreciate you, man.
that's not uncommon. It can go red. Like we flipped it
No, I
before.
know. I'm just
The
saying
red
I
is not.
appreciate it.
Yeah, the red is not unusual. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know, and this is me giving my breakdown of it, right? The DUI, I say DUI, DIE is
DEI, Jesus Christ, bro.
DEI, excuse me. The DEI to me is kind of like it's a borderline of civil rights civil rights issue, and I would want that to be regulated by government. I wouldn't want to
It will be
have
state
civil rights
government.
in this state and not in that state. I mean, that's how I see it. I would want something like that to be federally regulated across the whole country. But what were you saying, Braz?
No, I said it will be regulated by government, just not federal government.
Yeah, but I think that's the whole
Right?
point.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, we're saying it should be federally
Federal. No, I mean, we
governed.
could debate that, but that's a debate.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I don't know. Broad
I
hands,
mean,
broad hands on any topic. I think sometimes you should be specific, and then it becomes problematic when you add people to the equation, like anything. But I think broad sweeping hands on some things means you got to put trust in. I don't trust. I don't. If the DEI initiative was to be put forward, and this is where I always say vote local government. Your local government probably affects you a little bit more than your national government, and people don't even vote in that. But I would like my governor. I would much rather prefer it be. This is gonna sound crazy, but I would much rather prefer that the governor here would be in control of things like abortion and DEI versus the federal government and Donald Trump. And I know that's probably hypocritical, but that's just how I feel. That's how
it turns out to be. It turns out just to be the.
I don't know. I know that sounded crazy.
If you're born, if you're,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, by
Hey,
acting in a
so we
bird,
got a
bro, I
news
know
flash. We got a news
Yeah.
flash.
Yeah.
News flash. Conscious community news flash. The last pillar has fell. So now to kick brother Reggie off the channel.
Oh shit!
Hey,
Crash
hey,
out
bro.
Thursday.
It's only
Crash out Thursday.
Reggie was a DEI hire.
I got
It's only temporary.
Take that black
Hold
shit
on.
plan and
I
get
got
the
something
fuck
on
out
my
of here.
chest.
I need
want to
that
get
clip.
off. I got something.
He was a DEI hire. Sadetta.
This nigga ugly
Yo
funny as
said he
hell.
was a DEI.
He was a DEI hire, bro. That Black City plan. Get the fuck out
That could be when DEI hires goes wrong.
I gotta
Talking that bullshit, Black City. Reggie was a
wrong with
DEI
y'all, man?
hire, bro.
A little
That's what
pity
he was.
high, huh? That's crazy.
Hold on for a minute. Let me say something. So Sonetta does a video. He kicks the man off for trying to promote his channel, right?
Damn.
First of all, Reggie had a channel for years. I say, Reggie, you got to always have your own channel, right? That'd be like me saying, Sosa, we ain't fucking with you no more because you got your own channel. Nobody actually does that, yo. If y'all ain't beefing and arguing over shit, y'all gonna fuck with each other. Y'all know how it go. But nobody's actually trying to stop a person from having a public platform for themselves. You need to be able to have a platform. At least if you're around me, nigga, have something you can tell me to shut the fuck up, because I ain't shutting up all the time. So, and I want to be able to tell you to shut the fuck up. That's why I have my shit. You know what I mean? So I say, Reggie, you want to at least be able to tell a nigga, shut the fuck up. I say right now, Sonetta's the only one. Sonetta can tell you to shut the fuck up. So Sonetta does a live talking about Reggie. Unc started it first by building his channel. I never built my channel off of fucking Sonetta. Get that shit straight, nigga. I built my shit on my own. I brought your motherfucking ass to YouTube. Get that shit straight, nigga. You ain't bring me nowhere. Brought you YouTube and brought you the Blog Talk, nigga. So I always have my own shit where I can say fuck everybody. My mother told me that. She said, yo, always be able to say fuck everybody. It's just important as a man, as a human being. That's it. That don't mean you're going to use the card all the time. You're going to be mature. Just because it's your shit don't mean you're gonna take your ball. You know what I mean? But you're gonna be mature with it. But at least have that. And that doesn't mean that you're disloyal. I've never been disloyal to Sarnetta. I'm actually a loyal guy until niggas just nut the fuck up. I'm a loyal guy. So Sarnetta is wild for that. Reggie is a loyal guy. Never said a bad word about the man. So Sarnetta, I know you listening, nigga, because you everywhere.
Hit the
Somebody
link,
gonna get
Reggie.
back in-
Crash out on Sarnetta for kicking him off, goddamn.
Kicked him off.
Man,
Man, that's
yeah,
hilarious.
eliminate D High. Then Trump has got cut
He's
D High.
the first. Trump ain't even been inaugurated yet.
Yeah.
That's the first casualty of DEI going.
That's
out
another.
here.
I couldn't wait for this.
You know what? I
There'd be no honor among thieves, right?
Hey Reggie,
Trump,
hey,
did
come here,
Trump
Reggie. We gotta
call?
have a meeting, bro.
Did Trump call Sarnetta and say kick Reggie off?
Yeah, he said get him out of here with that Black City plan. he gave the responsibility back to the states. Man.
You know what it is.
You make
He ain't did something Sarnetta want to say. You know what, nigga? I'm gonna take that coffee money from you, that lunch money, and let you pay for your own lunch coffee.
Yeah,
Wow.
see,
get your mind right
for sandwiches, turkey, cheese, Lunchables, and shit.
Yeah.
You better get your own.
Right, told that nigga, man, you got to always have your own shit, and having your own thing doesn't make you not loyal, yo. Right? And as long as niggas been fucking with Sarnetta, yo, he should want everybody that he know to have a channel. Sarnetta got the biggest pseudo channel anyway, so ain't nobody gonna be able to outdo that anyway.
Pay for your own chopped cheeseburger, whatever that sell that shit. Chopped cheese.
God bless the child that got his own, my G. You could as long as you working for somebody, you working at their privilege.
You nigga talking back about chopped cheese on me. Shit, you got me.
So I want y'all to support Brother Reggie channel, man. Like, subscribe.
Hell
to
no.
Channel, yo.
No way.
No.
Fuck no.
Man, Reggie supported all y'all, man. That's terrible, yo.
I'm speaking for me.
Especially you, Chefrin.
I'm just saying me. I'm speaking for me.
I ain't never seen him on Social World. He ain't never been on Social World.
I'm being mean because he stayed over there too long. He should have been left. That was crazy. You feel me?
I want to see a band of black.
It was
a band of black. He's not.
I ain't supporting him over there. I ain't supporting him where he goes. Go there where you go.
Hey, Brad, you just mad at the Black City plan. We can understand.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, hey, I didn't support him over there. I ain't gonna support him. I ain't gonna support him on his own.
Hey, you ain't supporting nothing over there. So
Brad, we ain't saying let him babysit, Brad. Jesus Christ.
No,
I don't support Reggie.
I definitely wouldn't let him babysit.
I'm gonna support Reggie.
Don't make me crash out. So
Reggie, my man, this crash out Thursday. Yo, this.
I got clips. He definitely ain't babysitting. He definitely ain't dealing with.
He went right for the juggler. I know what you're saying, Brad.
He went right.
Oh man,
don't make
let
me
me mute out. I'm muting out.
Don't make me crash. I'll crash out for real. You want some views, Sosa?
My fault. I forgot. Damn.
Yeah. I give you some
forgot.
fucking views, nigga. This should have go platinum. I turn my if I share my screen, this motherfucker will go absolutely.
Don't let him do it. So I forgot. So damn. I forgot. Remember,
I'll be the only person not
be crashing out on Reggie. I forgot, yo.
This nigga Ugg said, "Damn, I forgot."
Yeah, I didn't. I got a long memory. Pause. I crash out. I told you this title is problematic. So you got people feeling a certain way. This title is problematic.
That's why I got a title in the backdrop. In case you forget,
I normally don't act like this. You know what I mean?
I'm looking at the picture. That's funny as shit, yo.
I understand how that
I'm trying to
brain
figure out
works.
what comment in that motherfucker. Is that?
I understand how that brain works. You keep looking at that rack and that word crash out Thursday on top.
I'm the ball head nigga in the back, yo.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
That title is crazy. Is that me in the back with my eye? This nigga, I'm tripping. Go ahead with that bullshit, Sosa. Everybody look at somebody on there. Everybody got their picture. Ben Sosa fucking. Sosa got everybody on that picture. They go Chef right there with the woman with the knives. Starting shit. Look, Chef on that motherfucker starting shit. Look, pointing. It's them. This nigga
It was him. It wasn't me. It was him. It wasn't me.
Oh shit.
I ain't even get a chance to crash out yet.
Oh, shit.
Man. This nigga
Crash
That's
out.
Brass right there
Crash
with his
out.
legs
everybody
all
on that
half
bitch.
broke talking shit. That's Brass
Crash
right
out.
there.
You crash out. What's on
I
your
told,
mind? Crash out.
I told Fetty to come up so I could
Yeah,
crash
Chef
out.
trying to iron something. Chef want to iron Fetty out.
So
Oh,
Fetty
I might do a
pseudo.
special.
I
I
nigga
might
want to
have
Fetty
to
have
do
a
a
pseudo as
special.
conversation
hell.
with Fetty, bro.
We
Fetty
might have to
pseudo
do
as
a.
hell, yo.
We might
Yo,
have to
No,
do a.
Fetty.
Y'all niggas about to go
Fetty.
crazy with
I
this
said
bail
Fetty. I'm
thing.
talking about Fetty.
This
Fetty
bail
talking
Yeah.
about
thing.
shit we done talked about for 5 years already. No, I'm trying to do something new. Man, we not even talking about the shit, yo.
yeah,
We
nah,
might have to
Fetty
do
ain't
a
going.
special
Fetty
crash
That's
not
Fetty's
coming
audition
up
for
here.
problem,
Charles
yo.
Murray. You special crash audition on the IQ test.
Yo,
Special.
I'm
he
telling you,
swear
Fetty
ain't
is not gonna
nobody
come up
never
here, bro.
read that shit before.
Ain't that
That's what I
crazy?
be tripping like, bro.
Chef, hold on. Hey, Chef, you remember you was like, man, that's some wild shit. It was about a year
Right?
ago. Remember that? You was like,
Yeah.
man. I say, Chef, don't go that. I said, don't go
Don't go down that road.
remember that, right?
Yeah.
You was like, it kind of sound like. I say, no, Chef, don't do it, yo. It's gonna
No.
we
Hey,
been
see
read
now,
that
now,
shit,
hey,
yo.
now look, now Fetty gonna accuse me of letting y'all slander. There you go.
We ain't
Come
slandering
crash
no
out these
damn Fetty.
niggas,
It's
Fetty.
crash
Yeah, but
out.
he gotta come. He can come crash out.
Fetty, come crash out, bro.
If he come,
You gonna be mad at me, man.
He probably won't choose to, but he should. Him
Man,
and
he
Chef
all
got an
right.
actual issue. That's a show in and of itself. Chef, Freddie. Period.
Fetty, all
Yeah,
right,
man.
man. He just act like he just younger. He a little bit young. I don't even know if he younger, to be honest with you. He just think we didn't read out, we didn't argue about all kind. Nigga, we didn't spend, you know how long we argue on the phone, nigga?
Right.
About every goddamn thing, every argument we done had a chance to fix the argument, break the argument again and fix it again. Shit. What?
We on that shit out.
Nigga, we on the Black Egypt shit to the point where, nigga, you know the rails. You know where they at. Don't touch that line. You're gonna get shot, nigga. What? That's why it's crazy now. I be listening to niggas. I be listening to the toothpick niggas. I'm like, yo, the Magi toothpicks, yo, y'all tripping. That shit funny.
Yeah.
Crash out, nigga.
Hey, how old is the Trump video where he said he wanted to do away with DEI and charge people for doing, like, is that how old is that video? Is that a recent video or is that like
2-3
from a
days.
year ago?
It's 2-3 years ago, 2-3 days ago, yo. American Dream. I know you cast your vote already. Tell me you want to take your vote back, yo.
No, American Dream support.
No, absolutely not.
I told him take his vote back.
We
Take
know.
my
I
vote
want
back.
Chief Facts here. I want Chief Facts really here to crash out. The truth.
Oh, he's the
Chief
crash out.
Facts ain't
too.
just a Republican. He is a Trump supporter. Like, if you
Well,
say
I'll tell
something
you,
about Trump,
That nigga MAGA, yo.
or you say
Nigga,
anything about
MAGA.
Trump, that nigga on your head, bro. He
Oh,
ain't playing no game.
man.
Stop lying. Stop lying on him. Like, he don't play no game about Trump. Bro.
Do it,
Hey,
yo.
bro, I couldn't
Yeah,
even click
yeah.
on this last video, bro. The title just fucked me up too bad, bro. I couldn't even click
Yeah,
on
he
that shit.
played too
I
much,
think,
yo.
Chief Facts will put hands on you about Trump, bro. I promise you, bro. Promise.
You know what's funny, yo? Ain't nobody over there saying Trump is something that he has not proven, right? At least on this side, niggas ain't sitting around just being black out, just saying I don't fuck with him because that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? We can just look at the way this nigga move, yo, the way he influenced the wrong group, yo, to see. We could just see that. Like, come on, yo, you do too much, nigga. Play too much. You scamming, nigga. You playing too much, yo. Yeah, American Dream. I don't know why you can't see that nigga pseudo though, yo. You picked another election, yo. The
No,
first
I
election he
mean,
was all right.
I wasn't. I don't think that what he's doing is any different from the fact that the Supreme Court made affirmative action illegal. So it's the same kind of thinking that goes along with DEI. And so I think that he kind of, because I do think that there was going to
You
be a
don't think that was too
DEI
soon,
case
yo?
taken to,
You don't think
say
that was
again,
too soon?
too soon for him to come out and say what he
No,
said.
the DEI, the DEI, taking that off the thing. Don't you think that was like a little bit too soon, yo? Don't you think some other things should have been
No,
taken care of first?
no,
Absolutely.
absolutely not. And
Nigga ain't even in
the reason,
office yet.
no, the reason, no,
Talking that
I don't think
bullshit.
it was too soon because I think
So you
if,
think we evened
you know,
out? The playing field leveled out now? The wealth is evenly transferred and
you're
we're on the
asking me a
playing
lot of
field, yo?
questions. You're asking me a lot of questions at one time. I don't think
Rapid
it's
fire,
too
nigga.
soon. I don't think it's too soon because I think one of the main reasons that, he won in such a landslide is
Because of
because,
you.
America is really, fed up with this woke culture. And I think DEI is kind of like, I think DEI is the legal representation of
No,
woke
it's not true.
culture. And
No,
I
that's
think
not true. No,
if I could
no,
just
no,
finish
no.
though,
Trump is the
I
woke
think
culture nigga. He the
I
president of the
mean,
woke culture.
well,
Now, now wait.
my whole point is that in my estimation, DEI is a representation of woke culture. And I think that when he did, by doing what he did, I think he in his head, he was going according to what he saw as a mandate and what the American people want. And I think that that is a major part of why the American people voted for him is to end woke culture. And I think that he was kind of speaking to
No,
those
nobody said that, but
Americans
hold on,
and
whoa,
to
whoa,
that.
slow down for a minute, American Dream. Let's really discuss this seriously. So you do know what woke culture is, right? It's what Trump promotes.
No,
Absolutely. Like, yes, the
no.
puppet government, all
Woke
that
culture
shit.
is the no,
Yeah, I
no.
figured you didn't, yo, because you can't agree with all of that
No.
shit.
Yeah, come on, yo. It's that
You can't.
shit. It's the we don't
It's
got the freedom of
it's a
speech.
package.
Yeah, yo.
You,
You thinking you
No,
woke to the shit that
I
was
think
going
y'all are
on around you. I'm
mistaken.
telling you, yo.
I think
he's also talking about
woke culture
taking
goes
teaching
with
about slavery
liberalism.
out of school. That's a part of the package too. You agree with that? You don't think that black people should be taught about, or black and white people should be taught about slavery and some of the
We
the
are taught
social
about slavery.
injustices that happen in America? They should take that out of school because
We are taught
that's a
about
part of the
slavery.
package, huh?
We are taught about slavery.
No, I'm talking about in schools.
We are taught about slavery in schools.
No, I'm saying that he's
Take it
also
out.
promoting that we remove that from schools along with the
No,
DEI
I think
stuff.
no, I think right. I think what he's
It's
saying
a
we should
package.
remove from schools. No, I think what he's saying we should remove from schools is this new stuff about like the
No, you're
1619
thinking wrong.
projects. If I could
Specifically,
just
they're
if
talking
I could
about.
just finish my thought, bro.
No, I'm
I
I'm
think the
telling you
things that
before you even
no,
finish
but
it
let me
that you're
just
wrong.
finish my
That's not
thought.
you.
But let
What
me
you
finish.
think he's talking about
The
ain't what he's talking
crash
about.
out.
Let me finish my
The
thought,
crash
man. Let me finish my thought. I think the things that he's trying to take out of schools is the new woke stuff that's been put in, like the 1619 project. Those are the types of things that
The
he
what?
wants to be removed. The
The what, yo? Explain that.
1619
Explain
project.
that. Explain
Stuff
that.
like saying that, the first slaves came in
You don't know.
1619, and so America really started in 1619 and not in 1776. Like it's that type of stuff
Oh,
that
that's
that he's trying
interesting.
to
That's
eliminate, like
interesting.
this new woke culture where
You
everything
mean
like
you mean
transgender.
misinformation? Hold on, you saying misinformation, basically, right? Because
Yes,
that
what
would be
he sees as
misinformation.
misinformation about true history.
Oh, so
Like
he's
there are
not really
people who
trying to
want
give
to
you so
say
the real. He
America
cool with the
began
real
in
shit.
1619 rather than
Yeah,
in
you got
1776.
Trump wrong then. If that's what you
Yeah, we
think he's
gotta
talking
figure it out.
about, you got him wrong.
No, I
He's
mean I
specific,
don't. I'm
and,
actually
and what he
flabbergasted
calls
right
it,
now
he
that y'all
calls it
think woke
is.
culture is.
No,
Y'all
I'm telling
actually
you,
think woke culture is being pushed by
look. I let you
Republicans.
finish, yo.
Yeah, of
Y'all think
course.
woke culture is
You
being
got it
pushed by
wrong. I'm telling you.
Republicans. No, and I'm telling you, you're the one that has it wrong. Woke culture is not being pushed by Republicans. Woke culture is being pushed by Democrats, and that's why they lost the election because they're pushing stuff like boys competing in girls sports. That's all a part of woke culture and saying you can be whatever gender you want. That's a part of woke culture. That like Black Lives Matter, like that's all the woke culture stuff. That's all being pushed by Democrats. I don't know. I don't
I
even know
mean, I
how
think
y'all
that you're
even are
making my
confusing
point
that
when
with
you say
All right,
that.
but hold
Republicans.
on.
But the question the
That's
question is,
crazy to me.
what do you think he
let's
means
get
when he says he wants patriotism to be taught in school? What do you think he means when he says that?
That means he wants to go back instead of saying America was started in 619 based on slavery, it started in 1776 based on the Civil War and fighting against the British. Like he wants that type of patriotism and being
You
true
making
to
that up?
American
You
history.
making it
He
up?
wants
Making it
he
up?
wants us to be true
Making it
to
up,
what
brother.
he sees as true American history and not this woke version of history.
Woke
let's
ain't the
uh, let's
Civil
let's
War.
let's uh, let's let's get clarity though.
Making that
He
up.
kind of he misrepresented the. Let's get the 16 project and this to record. He kind of misrepresented.
Yeah, we gotta get this straight.
So
Yeah, thank you.
the project title 619 refers to the year when the first enslaved Africans were brought into the American colonies, marking what it posits as the true foundational beginnings of American history. So here's a key aspect. The project argues that 1619, not 1776, the year of the Declaration of Independence, is a more critical starting point in understanding American history. It suggests that the institution of slavery and the contributions of Black Americans have been fundamental in shaping the nation's economy, politics, culture, and social structure. So
Read
it's
that again. You said
What's
what?
wrong with that? Hold
Read
on,
that
Mark
again.
agree.
No,
Hold
I do
on.
believe that's what I said. I do believe that's
So
what I said.
but you
no, but you
misrepresented
said
it though, yo.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
made it seem
said
like
it
it was
incorrect.
Yeah, you
wrong
said it.
information.
Yeah, you said 1619 was not the
I
starting point.
said they're
Yeah, you
trying to
said that,
make
yo.
1619 the starting point,
They not teaching that in
Trump,
school.
but
Yeah, they don't even
but
teach that shit in
Trump
damn
wants
school.
it to be 1776.
It is 1776.
But
They
there are
don't
No,
teach
people you
them
Trump
just read
Trump
that
wants it
said
to
1619
there are
be
in
people that want it
school.
to be
1795.
And y'all
1619.
can see that. Y'all can see that on the board.
They don't teach that in school, bro.
Yeah, they ain't
Man, have
teaching.
you seen these new books that are being pushed in school,
Yeah,
Chef?
Are
my
you serious?
children in school, bro.
Yeah,
They
you
don't
So
made
teach
am
that up.
that.
I. Yes, they do. Are you kidding?
What
So let's
state do
look
you
at
live
No, they
in?
got to be in a real school, yo. You can't have your kids in the thing what's
so
it
let's look
called?
at
So
the
real
here's the
history now is
critique.
woke history.
Here's a
Hey,
History is
critique.
so is
now
that me? Is that me writing?
Controversies and criticism.
Hold
The
on, let me see.
619 project has received both praise and criticism, and supporters argue that it brings necessary attention to the lasting impact of slavery and racism, helping to address historic omissions. Say the critics, including some historians, argue that it oversimplifies complex historical events, with some claiming it inaccurately portrays the founding of the United States. That's the side that you're trying to represent. That it portrays the founding of the United States. That is inaccurately portrays the founding of the United States. But I don't think it's so. What's your issue with the project? Is what I want to understand. Like based on the framework
Well,
I just laid out.
for one, 1619, we were still British colonies. That's
Hmm.
not the founding of America. America was founded in 1776.
No, you
Like
saying
that's
technically.
But
America
all of
started.
that
The founding of America is
inaccurately portrays the founding of the.
1776. Before
Of
that, we weren't
course.
America. So how can y'all now come and say 60? What is this 1619 thing? It wasn't even
Am I
America.
tripping, or he now saying the opposite of what he just said? Am I tripping?
That's how I
You're tripping.
communicate.
No,
That's
he's
how I
tripping.
communicate.
And
We
so
communicate
you have
that.
to tell me how I'm saying something different. Otherwise, yes, you're tripping.
No. Yes, I know what you said. What you said was that 1619 is not the actual start of the United States.
Yeah. Basically
No,
what
it's
you're saying
not.
is
But
if you
there are
want to
people, but there are
understand
these.
American history, the best way to understand American history is to start at 1619, bro.
Correct.
You
Which
want to
makes
get
sense.
context of what happened here, you can't start at 17
Correct.
Declaration of Independence because
Right.
because all the opponents leading up to that is crucial. That's
Right.
what they're arguing.
It's what
And it's a
shaped
bad
America.
argument. I know that that's what their argument.
I know. Is that
Argument. I'm
right though? Hold on.
saying
Is that
it's a
right?
What
weak
is your so I'm
argument.
asking,
I'm
what
saying
is
it's
your
a weak
disagreement with
argument
that statement? That's what I'm asking.
because in 1619, whatever happened in 1619 was happening in a British colony, not in America. Has nothing to
Obviously.
do with America. America was founded over 150 years later.
Huh? No, it's called the forming of America, bro. Like
Doesn't matter, man. That's
before
not the
cancer
forming of
starts,
America. America
before cancer starts
America
to
wasn't
show in your arm,
America was not
there's a
even
process that
conceived.
takes place, bro.
America wasn't
You
even
gotta
conceived at
understand
that time.
Are you?
pre-dynastic Egypt
Yeah.
before
America
you
was not
understand
Come on, yo.
dynastic
Yeah,
Egypt.
come on. You don't start
America
at
was
Egypt,
not
bro.
conceived, was not even conceived at the time. So can you
No,
say
that's
so?
not what we
So what are we gonna
saying.
say? So
Yeah,
we can
you
also
don't
say
you don't
so
understand what
why
I'm
You
can't
just
saying
we
when
being
I
say
say
funny
it.
so
now.
why can so can
You
we
just
also
being
say
funny.
America? Can we also say
You just
America
being
was
funny
started?
right now. No, you just
Why
being
not?
funny.
Now, let me make
Why
a
not
point. I want to hear this. I want to hear
1615?
what he's trying to
Why
say.
not
What do you
1615? Why 1619?
What does that
Why
got to
not
do with the
1615?
wokeism that you was talking about, though?
Hold on, I'm
What
asking you, why not
why not?
I don't
1615?
know.
Why
I don't know.
1619? It's not
I don't know.
wasn't it still being formed in 1615?
I don't know.
What
We're
about
talking about when the
1610?
They
British,
talk
we're
What
when
talking
the
about
about
when the
first
British,
slaves
1610?
came over,
when the
bro.
British
Knock it off.
when the British colonists
Exactly,
first came
that's what
over.
I'm saying. The reason, the objection to it is that when you want 1619 to be the beginning, you want the beginning of America to be slavery. And that's the problem people are having with
But
that.
that's what make
No,
America though, yo. Are you
No,
serious
it's
right now?
not.
there
There
was
was
slavery in
slavery here before
1776, bro.
America was
Are you
formed.
Yeah,
wait, hold on.
there
There
was
Wait,
was
wait.
slaves in
slavery here
There
before
1776
was
also, right?
slavery in
1776.
Hold on,
1776, my
Murphy,
nigga. Like, I
man.
don't know if you
There was
understand history.
slavery here before America was formed. America didn't come here and start slavery.
What slavery
America
was here before
ended
that?
What are you
slavery.
talking
What
America
about, man?
slave?
ended
I'm
the
listening.
slavery
Go
that was
ahead.
here.
What slavery was here? Chattel slavery by Africans was here before that. I'm
The
listening.
one you're talking about, the 1619 slaves, you're just talking about, Ankh. What?
And
Well,
why?
man,
And
I
what?
feel
And
like I'm in
what
the, I feel
African
like I'm in the
slave?
twilight
What
zone right
African
now.
slaves were in America in
You
1615?
might
What
be
the hell
on.
is
You
What,
might
going
be.
on?
what African slave were these American colonies in 1615, bro?
Oh, let
What?
me see, yo. Hold
You
You say
said
on.
what?
why not 1615? Where
Yes.
were
Look,
they? Where were they at
look,
1615?
we didn't got derailed, Joe,
Who at
but
1615?
it's more about critical race theory, and he's gonna penalize people for teaching critical race theory than it is about this 1619 crap. I don't even know where that comes into play at for real, and it might be some truth to it, but the
Right.
conversation is definitely more about them.
Man, they don't teach that in school as the beginning of
No, I
American
get that.
history.
I get
But
that.
they
But I'm
now
saying
hold on, but listen what I'm saying. If they include it in the history, why would you take offense to that? It's a part of the history of America. You're talking
no, I
about
agree.
13%
No,
of the
it's not, man. That's the
population.
history of Britain. That's the history of
Listen,
Britain.
hold on, listen.
That's not
You're
America. That's
talking
Britain.
about, but you got to
Jesus
explain why
Christ.
13% of the population is even here. So why wouldn't you talk about that?
He's
Why
saying they
wouldn't
should
that be
start early.
included?
He's saying this to start. You saying this to start earlier, yo, when they first got here, when Christopher Columbus thought that's when you should
No,
start.
he's saying they should start in
Why don't we start?
1776.
Why
But
don't
I'm
we
saying
start?
you
You know,
can't
there
tell
were
a history. Hold on. So if you start in 1776, you don't talk
okay.
about all of the stuff that led up to 1776. You don't talk
Okay.
about
So why don't we? Okay. So can I ask you a question, Shafreen?
Okay, go ahead.
Why don't we? The Indians that were here were slaves before they brought in African slaves, correct?
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
So why don't we
Yes.
start America when the
Let's do it
Indians were
then.
slaves?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's
We
do
need
it.
that.
No, that's
Can you hear
silly.
me?
You see,
Then
you
why
y'all
are
hear
you?
me?
Why are
can't
you?
Yo,
But
exclude
the
listen.
folks.
American
Then
dream don't even
We're
know what he
trying to be
arguing for right
inclusive.
now, dog. He
Listen,
can't.
if
So
we're trying
when
to
do you
be
want to start
included,
it?
no,
So when do you
listen,
want to
if we're
start it,
trying
sir?
to be
So when do
included,
you want to
why
start it?
would I exclude somebody?
Okay, so not
I ain't
16.
trying to
So
But I'm
exclude
okay,
saying,
so it's not
nobody.
but more
1619. So we're
Can
gonna
importantly,
y'all hear me?
start it when
why
the
are we
Indians were slaves.
why are we switching to Native Americans now? When let them bring that policy up and I'll support it. So what's that
Yeah.
got to do with the 1619? Because you switching the conversation to
Yeah.
goddamn
Hey,
Indians.
Yeah,
hey,
don't
What is
put
Sosa.
your
I
issue?
don't
I don't
care
even know
who's
what you're
bringing it up.
arguing
Hey,
from.
hey,
It's
Sosa.
silly.
Hey, Sosa.
Regardless of who's
Yeah,
bringing it
hold
up,
on.
it's a silly idea.
Nah,
All
it's
right,
The
go
not
ahead,
reason
silly.
Marcus. Go
you're
ahead,
bringing
Marcus.
it
So,
up,
Finish it.
the reason
Let
you're
so
bringing it
this
up
Marcus
is
is because you're black and you
so
wanted
this
America
is
to start
this
with
is
black slavery. And
this
that's
is
finish.
the
Go
the
only
ahead.
reason.
Let
this is
Marcus make your point. Make your point. Go ahead.
this is the hypocrisy that people talk about. Utter foolishness. When you go to school, you learn about the Pilgrims, the Mayflower, and all that. Ain't none of that all that before 1776, and they all consider it part of American history. You will not read in the textbook where they say the Mayflower is British history. That's early American history. And so is 1619 Jamestown. We got to knock the foolishness off. They've been teaching that.
That's the history of the American colonies, not the
The-
United
hold,
States of America.
hold on,
Hold
hold
on.
on. Did you hear
That's
what he
the
said?
history of the
Hold
Yeah,
American
I
on.
heard him.
colonies,
American
which is
colony.
See
still
how he threw
four,
American in there?
four. Bro, those
Can
are
I
still
finish?
British colonies.
Can I
No,
finish?
that's
I
the
didn't know I
history.
was
Let
That's
done.
Philly
not
make a
the
statement.
founding
I
Let
didn't
of
Philly
the
know I
make a
was
United
done,
statement.
bro.
States of America.
Only thing we
Let him make a
talking
statement.
about is the
So what are we
hypocrisy
gonna?
of what you're
So
talking
should
about.
we start it in the Mayflower then?
Because
So we
if
should
we
start
pay
America at the
attention,
Mayflower.
oh,
Chilemwe,
hold
should
on.
we start
It did
America
If
at
start
the
with the
Mayflower?
Mayflower, bro.
hold
I'm
on.
saying like
That
he's not
No, they
got
don't.
no understanding of American history.
So
Well,
y'all want
you're
to change
oh
it
my
from the
god.
I
Mayflower to
don't know what he
He
1619?
How you
arguing.
from
mentioned it,
American
bro.
Dream? Was you born and
so
raised in
listen,
America, yo?
listen.
That's what I want
No,
to know, man.
he
No,
must ain't
no,
go
he's
to
not. He's
school
an
here.
immigrant. So
Oh yeah,
listen.
He
you
didn't go to
okay? We
school
get
here,
it.
Yeah,
yo.
We
He
get it. You
didn't
don't
go to
be.
yeah.
school
We
here.
ain't
Hey,
mad at you.
What
American
what's
Dream. No,
the
hold on. We gotta
point
know
of
this. American
American
Dream.
Dream's argument
When did
right
the
now? What is
Mayflower
he
land,
arguing
bro?
Man,
for?
When did the
Oh,
Mayflower
I
arrive, my
went to
nigga?
school here. I went to school here
No,
more than
American Dream.
anything
When
else.
did the
I
no,
Mayflower
you
probably
arrive?
obviously
went to
not.
school. I went to school here for longer than most of y'all on this
No, I'm
planet.
saying when did the
On
What?
this
Mayflower
on
arrive?
this
How you
panel,
figure that?
rather.
How
I
you
When did
went
the
to
figure that?
school for
Mayflower
longer
arrive?
in America than most of y'all
I
on the
don't care about
panel.
how you went to school. I'm saying when did the
He went
Mayflower
to
arrive?
school from than most of us on the planet. How you figure that, bro?
I went to school for longer in America than most of y'all
How?
on the
How you
planet.
figure
Because
that?
most of y'all on the
You could
because
have been
most
to
of y'all on this
school for
panel,
college. You could
because
have been to
most of
college for
y'all
20
on
years.
this
I don't really
panel
care.
are
It don't
high
matter.
school
I'm trying to figure out.
dropouts. most of y'all on
High
that
school
panel are
drop.
either
Yo,
a high school
hold on.
dropout or a college
American
dropout.
Dream. American Dream. Watch this.
I don't want to get
So that's
Hold
what
on,
I'm
sidetracked.
saying.
hold. No, we're not gonna get sidebar. I ain't gonna trip. Listen,
Don't
this
forget it's
is
crash
crash
out.
out
Y'all
though.
can't
Hold on,
trip
American
out
Dream.
when
Hold
I'm
on for a minute.
crashing out.
And hold on. Guess what? I can almost bet you, based off of my correspondence back and forth with these individuals on here, you don't got no high school dropouts. I'm really put some money. You can put some money on that? And I don't know
I
nobody
ain't
background
betting
on
no
that.
money, but I'm sure there possibly is. I ain't putting
No,
no
I
money
don't. No,
on it,
I
but
don't
I
think
wouldn't be
so.
surprised.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Chef, did you drop out of high school?
Hell no.
Chef, did you drop out of college?
Brass.
Chef, did
Brass.
you drop out of college?
No, we ain't talking
Yeah,
about
you
college.
could brag ahead.
Man, don't add
Chef,
nothing.
did
You
you
said
drop
high
out of
school
college?
dropout. Don't do that.
Nah, most
Do
people,
that.
Let
everybody
me
that's
ask you a
pepper
question.
had not
Did
dropped
you
out of
go to
high school.
college,
Yep.
Unc?
Yeah, I went to
Did you go to
college.
college?
Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga.
Where?
Did I finish? No, but I got some
Okay.
college credits.
I'm
Okay.
saying we're getting
All right. Then
sidetracked
Right.
on the
then it's
college
very
shit, bro.
likely
I
I
just
went to
want to say
school in
that. I want to
America
say
longer
this,
than
bro.
you.
No, but you
If I
said
say,
high
if
school
I talk
dropouts.
about the
Just say I
16,
changed it. Just say you changed it.
All right,
For
man. Get
honesty.
over it. Get over it.
bro, I'm
No, no,
High school
no.
saying if
dropout, college
No,
dropout,
no. Hold
middle
on.
school dropout,
No.
whatever.
No. You said
I'm
Why
saying
we
high
this,
even
school
why
bro.
we
drop.
even
You
here? Why
said
we
most
changing
of
the
y'all are
subject?
high school dropouts,
Bro,
bro.
yeah, don't let him
Yeah,
bog us
forget
down with
about
his
that. Forget
bullshit,
about
yo.
that.
They're
He
the ones
already got
bogging
the
it down, not me.
information, bro. Shit.
Forget about
You
that. I'm
not, yo,
saying
but
this.
you said that shit as a shot because you just crashed out with that. Just say you was wrong with
We
that, bro. Let's
crashing
move
out.
forward.
What you
He
mean
may
we
not.
crashing out?
Listen,
No,
let's get
I'm
Because
through
not
this.
wrong. I
nobody,
was
you
crashing
don't
out.
have high school dropouts on here.
Okay,
No,
just
I
let him
wasn't
go. I don't
wrong. I was
care. Listen,
crashing
it
out.
don't matter because it's not
All
true.
right, you
So
was crashing. Okay, let's move.
I was
here's
crashing
what I'm
out, bro.
saying, American Dream. If we're talking about the 1619, and an educated person tells me, well, why don't we go back to the Mayflower? In the Mayflower land of 1620, I'm looking at you like you're ignorant. That's the point that I'm trying to bring up, bro. So why would you say go back to the Mayflower and 1619 covers that time span? That's ignorant, bro. So that tells me no matter what you say, you're not knowledgeable on American history.
Hold on. The Mayflower? The Mayflower what is that? The first ships that came over here?
Mayflower land in 1620, bro.
So that's
In
my whole point.
1620.
So he don't
That's the
know
I didn't even
American
Mayflower.
bring up the
history.
Mayflower.
He
I didn't
just
bring
That's
up
the
the
saying
Mayflower.
Mayflower.
anything.
Yeah,
So
you
some of
said
y'all,
why
That's
don't
y'all
we
my
go back
point.
to
understand.
the Mayflower? That's what you said,
Just
bro.
go back to the I also said go back to when the Indians was slaves as well. You want to go back
Same
before the
period.
Mayflower then? Why
Give me
don't you
give
go
me
back
time. What's the
before?
date?
Why
What's
don't
the
you
date,
go back?
bro? Give me a date. Give me a
What
date.
I gave
What's
you a
that
date. I
date?
said 1615. I said 1610.
Indians
No,
ain't stayed
what
slave
the
Pick
long.
fuck
any
You
do
date.
that got to do
Hmm.
with the woke shit that the Republicans and Democrats are doing? Yeah.
The
mm.
Republicans ain't doing no woke shit. It's the Democrats.
They
Like,
doing the
do y'all even
pseudo
know what
shit,
woke
bro.
shit is?
They doing the pseudo shit,
I
bro.
swear y'all don't even know what woke shit is.
Nah, I know what pseudo is though.
He just gonna keep changing the topic until he can find
And
We
the
at
he
thing
least
can
we
is,
bog
know
us
you know
down
that
American
somewhere.
they
Hold
history.
on.
At
Hold on.
least
they're
we
not
know
What
what
it means to
American
be woke.
history is.
Yeah, you ain't
Okay.
lying.
Okay.
don't know
Can we
American
agree on
history,
what it
bro.
means
You
to
know
be
what I'm
woke?
saying?
You went to
What do
school
y'all think it
longer than
means?
all us in
I don't know
America,
what
and
it
you
means.
don't
I
know
don't know
shit.
what it means to be
Okay.
woke,
Man,
nigga.
Let me tell you
you
what
done
I've
changed
been
the
given
conversation. We
as the
sitting up here
definition of
debating on
woke.
some silly shit now.
Let me tell you what I've been given as the definition of woke. If y'all have a better definition, please share it. But here's the definition I've been given for woke and why I think that's a left-wing Democrat liberal movement. The definition of woke is when you see racism in everything. Your eyes are open to white supremacy and racism. That's what it means to be woke, right? So all of this stuff about the 1619 project, when it's trying to put
Oh man.
slavery as the beginning of America, that's a part of being woke. When you see everything as being slavery and white supremacy and reparations, that's all a part of
Yeah,
being woke. And now
that's why you messed
that's
it
what
up.
I understand woke as. And that's why I say what y'all are talking about, that your side is the woke side and not the Republic. Now, y'all tell me what you
Whose
think woke
side?
means.
No, whose
Can y'all
side
hear
though?
No,
me?
just tell me what you think
Can
woke
y'all hear
means.
me?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah, yeah.
Marvin.
I'm about to get off, but because I'm getting a headache and cuss American dream out for a day.
Let's
No,
I
crash
all you
have
gotta
out.
do
short.
is instead of cussing, just tell me what woke means.
I have a very short temper for nonsense. I don't like
For
it. I don't
nonsense, just
like it
tell me what
around
woke
me.
means.
It's
You're just
contaminating.
trying to get over the
Man,
fact
So
that
let
you
let
me
don't
me
know
let,
what
let
woke
me
let,
let
means.
me.
let finish up. Let finish
So
up,
let me
American.
say why what he's saying
Cash
is
out.
illogical. If you look at the context of what the 1619 project actually talks about, it talks about the foundation of America. Just like the Puritans are part of the foundation of America, just like the Irish who came over here in the Appalachian Mountains are, and just like the Cavaliers and the Roundheads. All of these individually
listed groups that I just listed are part of the foundation of America. That's what it is. It is these people who joined into the Revolutionary War to establish their own nation in 1776. And at no time in the American history has that not been taught as it is.
No Jamaicans.
The only problem that was involved in that is that they attempted to exclude Native Americans and African Americans from that narrative. And now we know, because the Native Americans fought hard for it, that the ideas that brought about the Constitution, separate states, is actually a foundation part of a Native American concept that they had here when they got here.
The
If you look at
Iroquois.
Benjamin
The
Franklin
Iroquois
letters,
Confederate.
right?
What was it
If you
called?
look
The
at the
Iroquois
Benjamin Franklin
Confederacy. Yeah.
letters. So what I'm saying is they did not teach that at first, and now we're saying they need to teach it so you can get a full context of American history. And because American Dream thinks that that's being woke, which is a misnomer term that was taken from a whole nother group and misused as a derogatory term for people who pay attention to real history.
Right.
And so
That's the
that's
point
my
I was trying to make.
And
Right. There
anything
you go.
outside of that
There
is
you go.
nonsense.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
so
when
I'm
they're
going to
talking
step
about
off.
woke, they're talking
I'm
about
going
real
to
history.
step.
They're not
I'm
talking
going
about
to
that shit you were just
right.
talking
I'm
about.
going to step off this panel because I do not tolerate such BS.
He was just
The
making it up,
conversation,
talking
I'm
about,
sorry.
bro,
the
let him talk, let
conversation
him
too.
talk.
I'm sorry.
We
I
continue
was
to build. We gonna
distracted.
continue to
I'm
build on.
sorry, Chalemboy. I was distracted. Before you go off, can you tell me again what you said, woke man?
Oh man, hell out of here, man. You heard
It
me.
means real history, bro. Just like in the short version, it means the
Real
schools will
history.
teach the real history, yo.
Right,
That's what they
nigga.
talking about.
Not
Simple
start the
as that.
shit where you want to start the shit at. That's the
Yeah,
point.
it ain't
So
have it.
calling
It
16. So
definitely
you're
didn't have
saying
as much to
calling
do with them dates as you talking.
1619 the
Like they
beginning.
could,
That's
like they
being
could have
woke.
did it without the damn slave. They couldn't have did it without the slaves, bro. That's the point.
Okay.
That's why niggas need to get
So you're
paid for
saying
it. That's why they need to slow
calling
down. Come on,
I don't
yo.
even
1619
get his
real
And
point.
is
that's
woke.
why I
I
said it
don't
was
get his point the
more
way he
about
said he
critical
want to
race
start.
theory and that shit
This
he
is
was
why.
talking
Here's
about.
why I don't get his point. He said he said they want to start the history with slavery. I'm like, but we were still slaves in 70. That's why I don't get that point. We were still slaves in 76.
Right, nigga. What you talking about, yo?
I don't
So
get
can
it.
we
That's
start it when
saying that.
we legitimately start working for free? Is that possible?
I don't get it.
Can we start it when we start working for free?
Hey,
And I thought it was New Amsterdam, right?
Can we definitely not leave that part out? We
Yeah,
definitely
come
can't
on,
do that.
man. What made America great, yo, was the free labor, yo.
Yeah, and they want to leave it out because they say it's discouraging to the white kids, so they want to
Right.
leave it.
Right. It shouldn't be. It should be highly educational not to return to that nonsense.
It
That's
should
what it
be,
should
right?
be.
Twofold.
Right. Kids are resilient. Nobody's sitting there looking at every white person saying, "Yeah, you support slavery." That's the Umar Johnson shit. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to say earlier.
And
That's
he
the
trying
shit
to say
Umar
like it.
them do.
Yeah, he
And
trying
it-
to say it like it's waking us up, but really, if the woke part might be referring more to the white kids, waking them up.
Yeah, I
Right,
ain't seen
wake
it. I
them
gotta
up.
watch the video that we can make a reaction video with Umar said. I ain't seen that part of it.
Oh,
But
yeah,
here's my
go
point
ahead.
though. It already, first it would have been the idea, oh, well, if we teach that, you're gonna make the black people angry, they're gonna lash out. So we're already decades past
Ashing out.
the civil rights movement. So that shouldn't even be concerned. You should, so I mean, so you should be
Roots,
concerned.
nigga. We seen Roots. We was all raised up on Roots,
We've
nigga.
already
If you
seen
ain't lash out
1,000
off of that, you
slave
ain't lashing.
movies, and we ain't gonna start lynching white people. So that shouldn't be a concern. At this point, we should understand it's all education. You feel me?
Right.
But the people that want to remove that are going to be those right wing type.
Hey,
mad.
It's like a molester. He come around a family in the family. He don't want you to talk about it. Don't talk about it. I ain't really doing. Shut the fuck up. You did, nigga. I'm the one to talk about. I'm that talk about it, nigga.
Yeah, but that's why. Well, you going live on?
Yep.
Right,
stop crashing out. Yo, you crashed out too early, man.
You crashed out, yo.
That nigga say
this was tight. We kind of got bogged down a little bit, but I think we cleared it up. It actually turned out to be a good thing, kind of in a crazy way, though. You know what I'm saying? Because
we covered about topic. We can expand. Like I said, I like to create some shit. We can expand on it, so you can do your show. You can pick some points. maybe we can just keep building on it and have dialogues around a lot of shit. You know, we can't because we're never gonna be able to fully flush out all these topics all in goddamn a 2 hour set. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You feel me? You got to do a show. Chef got to do a show somewhere around different parts of it. You feel me? We definitely got to get. Definitely got to get the conversations with Fatty Wap. You know what I'm saying? I got to get that interview. I'm gonna get that interview with Fetty, man. Like the Fetty, the misunderstood disciple. Like why? We can say, so I can have him make his claim, explain like, yo, why is
that nigga cuss me out every day?
Hey, that's not. He cussed me out every day. That's normal. That's normal, Chef. That's normal.
Hey, so,
yeah, he cussed you out.
Oh, y'all done got Fetty to the point where he cussing niggas. Oh man.
Yeah, but I want to get Fetty on and let him explain his point of view from his own mouth, so he can see what. You know what I mean, so he can explain why he feel like he's being misunderstood or
that's his famous line. That's a protection line. That's that's part of the way he fight. It say I'm being misrepresented, but you the one said it all. We ain't represented nothing.
Yeah.
How you miss? Nobody can ever misrepresent Fetty.
Sosa, can you Google woke culture?
What's your point, man?
Or chat GP or AI chat GPT.
Just explain how you missing it.
Right,
it's
hold on.
Nah, just chat GPT and see
what
woke.
It's woke. It's called woke. It's called woke. Woke. It say it says America. It say African American English synonym. General American is awake. Has since the 1930s or earlier been used to refer to awareness of social and political issues affecting African Americans. They say often in construction of Stay Woke, beginning in 2010. It came to be used to refer to a broader awareness of social equalities such as racial injustice, sexism, and denial of LGBT rights. Woke has also been used as shortened for some ideas of American left. Yeah, American left.
American what?
American left. Involving identity politics and social justice, such as white privilege and reparations for slavery in the United States. Okay.
Thank you.
What was your point?
The American left.
No, it's not just that. See, you doing
the American left.
No,
yeah, like I said, some people
just one. Come on, yo.
Generalizing it, bro.
This is crazy. Within the fight,
I cannot believe you. Yo, like
it's about race. It's
about a range of things
and everything.
No, it's about a range of things. Yo,
oh Lord, have mercy.
I got it on the screen.
That's not what he just said, man. It's about African Americans, and it's about being black,
bro.
And seeing race and everything.
I got it on the screen, bro. Like he wanted me to type it up. It's on the screen. Like you want me to? Like you want to go with that, or you want to go with?
You gotta get a woke phone. Get a woke phone.
Your reception, bro. I can't.
This nigga don't like the African Americans actually like ourselves, yo.
I know. Yeah, that should be wild to me.
I can't hear your phone messed up.
No, I don't like when y'all don't define terms properly.
We're trying to figure out.
Well, listen, let me read
it. Y'all literally said Trump is pushing.
Let me read it, bro.
That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Y'all literally said
I said
Trump
that.
is pushing wokeism.
Hey, Sosa. Why does American Dream have a chance to pick some hair that more defines him? He pick a white boy hair.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Really,
I'm saying I got the definition on the screen. Do you want to go with that, or do you want something?
You just literally crashed out.
I'm saying you asked me to pull it up.
Go ahead, read it. Go ahead, read it. Come on, let's highlight.
I thought that's what Ang just read. Go ahead, read
so I'm
it.
saying, are you fine with that? Are you fine with the definition? What?
Woke. Here you go. Look.
That definition is more what I said than that nonsense Chilembwe said. That definition is what I said. It's left wing. It's a left wing philosophy about race and wanting everything to be surrounded around white supremacy and the black experience. That's what being woke is about. And when you bring in the LGBTQ stuff and the transgenders, that's all wokeism, and that's all left-wing stuff. So y'all are really confused.
No,
You're
it's not saying
confused
it's
about
left
what
wing
woke
stuff, bro.
is.
What's wrong with
You're
you?
confused about
It
what
is.
Trump is trying to do. You're just
No, it
confused
said
about
it says
everything.
woke has
He
also been
close, but
used. No,
he
yo,
go
you
go.
keep talking
He
after you
close.
say what you
But
just
I got it right
said.
here. I got it right here. I got it
Woke
here.
has
Boy,
also been
y'all so
used as a
hard-headed, man.
shorthand
The
for
political
some.
arena kind of got a little
Listen,
different
yo, hold
definition.
on. It say woke has also been used as shorthand for some ideas of the American left. Come on, Doug.
But
How you
look,
gonna leave out for some? How you gonna leave that out?
Does it say
Yes.
anything about the
yeah. So
American right?
listen, while it
The
is,
American right.
while this is associated
Did
with
you
the
say
left,
there
but
is
you
some
got the
idea of being left?
Damn, now
Left.
he can't talk.
like I said, your
Not
phone's kind of
everything the
bad. But
left
listen,
does is woke.
but
Not
listen,
everything the left does is
listen.
woke.
We got the
But
context. It
everything
is
woke is
associated
from the
with the
left.
left.
Not everything the
I'm gonna
left
read.
does is woke.
I'm gonna
But
read
This
the
nigga
everything
quote.
woke
crazy,
is from the
man.
I
left.
know we
All right,
heard
I'm
you,
Mary,
bro.
crazy.
We
you ain't gotta say
heard
nothing.
you.
I'm
Let him read
crazy.
it.
Look, while woke culture is largely associated with the left, it is not universally embraced by all on the left, nor is it opposed by all on the right. Some moderate liberals or left-leaning individuals may critique certain aspects of woke culture, such as cancel culture, or what they perceive as an overemphasis of identity politics, referring to focus on economics or class-based issues. Conversely, there are people on the political right who support certain aspects of woke culture, especially when it aligns with their own values, such as promoting diversity in religious practices or championing reforms within the criminal justice system. So, conclusion: woke culture aligns closely with the left wing or progressive values due to its emphasis on social justice, equity, systemic change, and collective responsibility. However, the philosophy is complex and vary with different individual and groups interpreting and applying this principle in distinct ways. So, I don't think. So, I think that's good. That's clarity, right? So, I think we got clarity there. We don't got to argue about that.
And what that said was there are people on the right that support woke stuff, but the woke stuff comes from the left. Of course, there are people on the right that, of course, there are some people on the right that are pro-choice, but pro-choice is not on the right's agenda. You will not find any right-wing politician promoting being pro-choice. But are there Republicans that consider themselves pro-choice? Yeah, but it's not a Republican idea or something that they push. The same thing with being woke. There are some Republicans that support that woke stuff, but being woke is a left-wing ideology.
Do you? Okay, so great. Now, do you agree with that? You don't agree with woke culture?
Do I what?
What aspects of woke culture do you agree with?
Do I agree with woke culture as I see woke? Absolutely not. I do
No,
not
no.
agree
I
with
mean,
seeing
if it's a
America
multiplicity
under
of
the guise
things,
of this.
I'm saying, being that it's a multiplicity of things, what things within woke culture do you agree with? Is the question.
Given the multiplicity of things that you just read about, given race, sexuality, LGBTQ, no, I don't agree with none of
You
those
don't agree
things. I
with that.
don't.
So you don't agree with the LGBTQ that type of politics.
No.
But how
Think
do
we
you
should
feel
just
about
run them off the
how do
cliff,
you
huh?
feel about social economic things dealing with African Americans or minorities in general? The social justice equity
Like
part. How do you
DEI,
feel about that?
you mean like equity? You
Yeah,
mean
how do
like
you feel about
equity type of stuff?
yeah, how do you feel about like systemic change, the social justice movement? How do you feel about that?
Say what?
How do you feel about things like social justice things and the systemic change? How do you feel about that?
Like that's what about Black Lives Matter. Yeah, that stuff I don't agree with any of that stuff. And I think,
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it sounds like you don't agree with any of it. That's what I'm saying. It sounds like you don't agree with part of it. That's what I'm saying.
there you go. How do you
no, I don't agree with
American
any of
Dream?
that woke stuff. No, I
No,
don't.
no, no, no. That's not what he's at. So
Right.
American Dream. So you actually think that racism is not systemic?
Oh, I know he does. I know he doesn't.
Huh?
I don't think.
Yeah, your phone, man, your reception bad, American Dream. But no, he
Your
doesn't.
head too big on that motherfucker, yo. You big ass.
All the isms are systemic, yo.
Yeah, he don't agree with that, bro. Trust me. I know right now. Anything like that, he's not agree.
So what is he? So he just running around this motherfucker crazy?
No, y'all ain't here. Y'all ain't here. And he said no. He don't agree with.
You don't agree with that shit?
Yeah, and that's why I said.
So you
all
don't
the isms
wait.
are
So you
systemic.
don't agree with scientific evidence. So you think the United States is lying when they say racism is still in America, you think they just made that up? I'm saying America itself.
No, he don't care.
Wow, you think they
gonna
made
say
it up?
racism.
What do they
He's
mean
gonna
when they
say
say that?
racism exists, but it's not systemic. That's what he's gonna say. Go ahead, Eric.
I'm sorry. When people say racism, there's still racism in America. What do they mean?
No.
No.
Systemic racism, yo, is in the institutions, yo. That's what it means. It's systemic, yo.
I know that's what they mean.
That's not real. You
Yeah,
saying
I
that's
know
not
what they
real?
mean, but I don't.
Ask him if he agree. Do you agree with that?
You don't agree with that?
No.
See? Told you.
So you just run around this motherfucker like you ain't got no damn sense. That's crazy. How?
No, I actually think you guys are running around acting like y'all don't have
but
no
here's
sense.
the thing.
And the fact that y'all don't know what woke means prove that y'all ain't got much sense.
Now that was me said that, yo.
Even Republicans can agree that racist there's systemic issues with racism, systemic issues with race. That's not even that's not even a woke thing. That's agreed across the board.
How? Hold on. Systemic racism, also called structural or institutional racism, refers to the way in which racial prejudice and discrimination is embedded in the policies, practices, and cultural norms of institutions, leading to the unequal treatment of people based on race. Unlike individual racism, which involves personal prejudice and discriminatory actions, systemic racism pervasive is affecting various systems such as education, law enforcement, healthcare, housing, and employment. Some key characteristics of systemic racism, historical foundations, is rooted in historical inequalities such as slavery, segregation, colonialism, which continue to influence modern day institutions and social structures. What? You know what? I'm gonna stop.
So for the people, so for the people in the back, the reason that they tried to implement things like affirmative action and DEI is because of systemic racism. Just so you know, that's why they try shit like that.
Right. I was waiting.
They realize it's systemic. That's why they do
it. Damn.
Yeah, it was needed. That's why they did.
Yo, you running around this motherfucker acting like that the shit wasn't organized, yo, and the institutions wasn't built off of that. The court system to lock you up when they let the free slaves go, they locked them up, saying you ain't got no job. How, nigga? You just let me go.
The jail sentences. Jail sentences.
Hold
on. That's why they implement these things. That's what they're trying to correct consistently.
Hey, Sosa, that's why I ain't vote for the whatchamacallit the first time around, yo. Because some of my niggas, my homeboys were just coming home, yo. They made the crazy crack law where you go to jail long if you got crack. You got powder cocaine, you good.
Yeah,
the guidelines was you can have 5 keys of cocaine, you only gonna get a year piece. But have 5 keys of motherfucking crack, nigga. You going to jail for your life sentence.
He trying to do it again and actually up the ante. He said something about it was either the death penalty or life sentences.
Yeah, for drug dealing. He trying to give niggas the death penalty for selling dope. And I'm telling you, you can go to any corner.
I got to get some clarity on that. Now, I think he's referring to the. I got to look more into that.
The cartel.
He may be referring to the cartels and the fentanyl epidemic. So, but I know that that's a slippery slope. But I do realize that's
a slippery slope right there, boy.
Because it's just like with those terrorist attacks. Yeah, those things are implemented for this thing, and then they turn around and use them for other things. So once you okay death penalty for drug dealers, then now you can take that and then apply that to you feel me? That's why that's a slippery slope right there, bro. I don't know if I want.
Man, they sell drugs every day in liquor stores as a drug, yo.
But fentanyl, I think they need to redefine that. That's not a drug. That's like poison. Like that's different, yo. Like that ain't. No,
that's a drug. That's a drug.
Man, that should act more like poison, man. That you could touch that shit and go out, bro.
Yeah, because
that
it's
shit
too powerful.
is like anthrax or something.
Yeah.
It is.
Come on, yo, we can't keep acting like that's just a drug, yo.
No, it is a drug, yo. It's just the amount. It's the way it is.
I know it's a drug.
It should be reclassified, yo.
No, you should give. I agree. You should get more time. You can't make it more than what it is, yo. It's just the heroin do the same way, yo. But it's shit. They cut the potency in it. Remember, nigga, you touch that and get high. You know that when you bagging this shit up, you can get high. without even sniff. You can get through your pores and get you high, yo. I don't know. Y'all niggas ain't had that much dope, so y'all probably wouldn't know. But you got to be in the house when you cutting it. You got to have the mask on, the gloves on, and all that. The room, you be niggas come out there high.
Yeah, sunshine a bit. Hey, y'all like and subscribe, man. Pure Black, make sure y'all subscribe, man. The social world.
But I get your point though. That's one drug they should give you high sentences for that. I agree to that because it's killing.
Yeah, that's death right there. Yeah,
Yeah, you
you straight.
definitely.
Yeah.
I still don't know about the death penalty.
I got a homeboy right now. He caught up with that shit.
He done. Tell him he's done.
So, but I already told him go ahead and tell. Yeah. Gotta come home, nigga. Go ahead and tell, bro. Tell him, nigga.
They locked him up for how long? Hold on. Yes.
He ain't got his court date yet. Give me some, but like
that's in project. That's in Agenda 47, yo. Yes, it say did Trump ask for the death penalty for selling drugs? Yes. Former President Donald Trump has advocated for the death penalty for individuals convicted of selling drugs. During the 2024 presidential campaign, he proposed that Congress pass a legislation mandating the death penalty for drug dealers and human traffickers. They say he argued that such severe penalties are necessary to effectively combat drug trafficking and related crimes. Trump's stance on this issue is consistent with his previous position. In 2018, he suggested that drug dealers should face the death penalty, drawing comparisons to countries like China, where he claims such measures have been effective in reducing drug crimes. I bet it will. Reducing the African American population too. Crazy. It's important to note that implementing the death penalty for drug offenses will require significant legal changes, including the new federal legislation, potential Supreme Court rulings, as current interpretations of the Eighth Amendment prohibit death penalty for crimes where the victim's life was not taken. Yeah, yo, get out of here with that. Yo, that's agenda. Find that in Agenda 47 too. Agenda 47. And I don't like the fact that nobody actually talked about Agenda 47. It's the wildest thing ever. Why didn't you talk about Agenda 47?
Doing a Trump tracker. Doing a Trump tracker. We'll do it during the Trump tracker because that's crazy. Like, you don't want something like that in. But like drug deal, what do you mean? Weed? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of drug you talking about, bro? How much drug? You know what I'm saying? Kingpins? You feel like, what are we doing? Like, you feel me? So it's like, because it's a slippery slope when you start letting those type of laws get in the books. Slippery slope. Yeah. Hey, but this game about to come on. Man. I'm trying to go live. I might do a watch party in the Discord, man. We've been rocking for about 3 hours.
All right, y'all.
Y'all got any last closing word before we wrap it up? Locke, you got a show coming up soon?
Yeah, man, I got something I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about some of the people Trump then chose as his cabinet members, and CNN been trying to break down like who these people are and maybe why Trump would have picked them. I'm gonna be a little bit more specific about some of the stuff I've been looking at about the DUIs. I keep calling it DUIs, but yeah, the DEI. I keep saying that, but yeah, there's some critiques out there of DEI. It's not it might have been implemented in one way, but it looks like it was kind of used in another way. And there's some black people that were saying from the jump it wasn't an effective thing. So I'm going to talk about it in that kind of regards, give a little twofold to the conversation. That's what I was going to do. And I think, funny thing, man, I think Trump might have actually played Elon Musk, dog. I think he played him because he offered him a job that ain't real. Ain't no such thing as no government efficiency board, chair, budget. None of that shit real, bro.
Yeah, shit. He probably made one.
I mean,
he could make one.
He could make it, but it would have to go through Congress and everything else.
Yeah, we're gonna see
if they shut it down.
Yeah, we're gonna see what all
he got Congress though. He got Congress.
Yeah, but that don't mean. But you know what's crazy about it? If they elect Elon Musk to do their job? What the fuck they gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen,
That's what
that's why we gonna keep tracking everything as it goes too, so we can see what actually comes to fruition or not. You feel me? You know what
I fuck with you, dog. I want to steal that Trump tracker, dog, because that's what I call myself trying to do, man. But you know, I'm gonna just ride with the homies. I like that one. Now. That Trump tracker, that's a good one. Because it's gonna be interesting, bro. If you don't see that coming, dog, it's gonna be an interesting 4 years.
Yeah, you
Volatile,
gotta.
like it's gonna be some crazy shit, bro. It had already started off crazy. He ain't even in office yet. I mean, you know, just coming right out the gate with like you trying to dismantle the Department of Education and get rid of all the DEI stuff. Like, man, that's a hell of a way to jump in out there, bro. For real.
Chef, where you at, Chef? You got something coming up, bro? You got some close out remarks?
No, I ain't doing nothing no time soon. I'm just enjoying everybody else's content right now. You feel me?
All right, for Chef, Chef, for the Carnivorous podcast, we got to get that Chef Fetty fade on that conversation. What's up, Unc? Close that zone out, bro. We did. You must be on mute. American Dream, what you got to add, bro? I don't know if you're trying to talk. I think your microphone, bro. Like I see a little green. American Dream. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't really have any much more what to say. You know,
Peace
it's
and
just
love, dude.
weird to me that yeah, I
Peace and
said a lot,
love.
I think. Yeah, peace and love as always. You know, I did want to crash. I did also want to crash out and say, you know, the people that say I think it's kind of weird that we try to compare it to reparations for slavery. We saying why this is white reparations, you know, but in my estimation, me for example, as a Jamaican, um, as a black Jamaican citizen of America, I would have more claim for DEI restitution than I would for slavery reparations in
Of
America.
course. Of
So
course.
me personally, so that's why when y'all say DEI restitution is white reparations, I'm like, no, I could get reparations from that. It's not just like a white
In
person. There's
general.
no white person in America that can say there's no white person in America that is going to claim to get slavery reparations. But there are a lot of black people that can get DEI restitution. There are a lot of black people. There are a lot of you can't just be gay. You can't be gay and go claim slavery reparations, but you can be gay and not white. You can be a Chinese gay person and get DEI restitution. So to say this is white reparations is really, you know what I mean, limiting what DEI is talking about, and kind of discrediting DEI as well, and just making a misrepresentation of everything, and saying it's saying DEI restitution is white reparations is the epitome of misinformation and disinformation, whichever one you want to call it.
Yeah, they crashed out, bro. Crashed out.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
sir.
crashed out just now.
Yeah, Uncle, you
Yeah,
got
no doubt. That's what I do.
What? What'd you say?
you got something coming up? You want to announce the show? This is the last word for you to close before we end it.
Nah, nigga, I burned myself out. I told you I had 45 minutes. Now I got him burnt out now. All American Dream. I didn't know that nigga felt that way. Then he got off the mic.
What he just said was crazy as hell just now.
What'd he say?
What he just said. Oh, he tried to stand up for Trump. He trying to interpret what Trump said as if he wasn't trying to protect white Americans when he said that.
What?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, he trying to say that it wasn't something that was meant to accommodate white people who were I guess done wrong in Trump's version, right, by DEI. He trying to say, oh no, anybody could have took advantage of that. You know, and full well Trump is absolutely talking about white males. That's exactly who he's talking about.
How you know that full well? He didn't say that. Like
You don't
you're
gotta
putting
say
words
it.
in his mouth. You're
You
putting
don't gotta
words
say it,
that he
yo. He
doesn't
that
say.
type
Yes,
of
he does
guy.
say it. He does, because DEI doesn't say it. DEI doesn't say that it's just going against white people.
Come
Of
on,
course
man.
Listen, DEI, a white person can be supported by DEI. A white person can go to a black company and say there's no equity there, and according to DEI, there should be white people in there. So
American Dream, do we gotta
DEI
spell it
can
out for
help.
you, bro?
Yeah,
But they
I could have
have a
sworn we
struggle.
were just talking about, racism still exists and all this kind of shit. And here he is.
Man, you know what, man?
Yo, you gotta
I
stop the
crashed
Trumpness,
out.
yo.
You
I
gotta
crashed
stop,
out.
yo.
My
It's all
credit
good.
score
No,
At
went
least
it's
up.
have a
like,
financial reason, yo. I ain't mad
yeah,
at you. I ain't gonna tell you how to get the money. I ain't gonna never do a nigga like that, yo. Just
yeah,
say it's some money, the money part. You ain't even saying the money part. You using the racist shit, yo. That's
yeah.
crazy.
All right, but look, that's all good, y'all. All right, look, we're gonna crash out again another time. If you get it, yeah, man. Thank everybody for coming through, man. I might do a little watch party in Discord. Ken over there was Redskins. The Redskins play the Eagles tonight, man.
Oh, do they? What time?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
shit,
ain't
it's about to
watch. You
start
know we ain't
right
doing
now.
no shows. Let me get off this, man. You done held me
Yeah, it's about to
hostage,
start.
man. All y'all done held me hostage.
I held y'all there. Yeah.
Shit.
All
You go
right,
crack
y'all.
it, get it
Bless up.
cracking
To
tomorrow,
all my
man. Peace,
peoples on this
everybody, man.
motherfucker, man. Hey, big up the Reggie, man. Big up the Reggie,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, man. Shout
They
out
killed, they
Reggie, man.
shot him over the Sardinellas. Big up to
Yeah,
him.
They're
yeah,
gonna
man.
fix that. They're gonna fix
Shout
that
out Reggie,
soon.
man.
Nah, they ain't gonna fix
Reggie
that.
got his freedom papers today.
Yeah, he got his freedom
freedom
papers
papers.
out the
Yeah, he got
plantation. The
his freedom
pimp.
papers today.
He off
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pimp. The
yeah,
pimping.
yeah. He's off the plantation. Yeah. So yeah, man. Hey, thank everybody for coming through, man.
Oh my
Shout out
god.
Reggie. Hey, yo, peace, y'all.
All
Everybody,
right,
peace.
Joe.
All right.